Started off into the stream. I somehow got separated from Raina. It wasn't very lonely though. Oh, I'll just wait for him. Oh, damn it. God damn it, toy. Hello. I will start now. I read like one line, don't I? That's what you missed. And I was like, oh, there's no point reading when there's no one here. I wasn't very lonely though. I know this place now. This is where I live, my home. It's probably better if I just stay here instead of wandering around aimlessly. Someone would surely find me while I was enjoying the evening breeze. I'm also slightly scared of why the background is black. Oh god. I heard a familiar voice. It was Tomotake's. I headed towards it. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be black. Yeah, okay. We safe, boys. We safe. How did it go, Tomitake-san? Were you able to get some good shots? Yeah, fortunately. Tomitake-san was with a girl. I felt a little like I was intruding. Oh, it's a girl. Oh my god. That was the character sprite I almost showed you, and then I'm like, oh yeah, you haven't met her yet. How was it, Keiichi-kun? Did you enjoy the festival? I will. And she's older than high school. From the way she spoke, it seemed like she was a resident of Hinamizawa. I really should try harder to remember people's faces here. What was her name? Well, it was fun. My face must have given away how desperately I was trying to remember her name because she gave a light-hearted chuckle. It's probably because it hasn't been long since you moved here. It's pretty hard to believe, seeing how friendly you've gotten with the other kids. If that's how it looked, it was probably all thanks to Reina and Mion. Perhaps you feel more like a resident of Hinamizawa after taking part in the festival today. I wonder about that. Oh, that's not like you. I had tried to get used to Hinamizawa, but there was still plenty of things I didn't know. The faces of people I'd met, for example. Things that had happened in the past as well. Oh, you're feeling left out because of something like that? It's not so much as feeling left out, it's just, I'm not sure how to say it. That incident at the dam construction site, the fighting over it and other conflicts, that terrible incident they pretended they didn't even know about whenever I brought it up. Even though it was in the past, as someone living in Hinamizawa, it wasn't wrong to want to know about both the good and the bad that happened here. Hey Daniel. Yeah, I only realised it doesn't come up with stream labels, the English name. So when you followed last night, I was like, thanks, I don't know who this is. And I had to go to like your profile, like, oh, it's Daniel. Okay. So yeah, hi, welcome. Is Fluffy still raging? Or did he calm down a bit? That was getting intense. If it will put you at ease, then I'll tell you everything I know. Tomitake-san's smile made me more relieved than I'd ever been. It was hard to think of what to ask when someone said, ask me anything, though. Even when there was so much I wanted to ask. He calmed down a little. Okay. Then could you tell me about what happened when the dam was being constructed? There was a big incident where Hinamizawa was going to be submerged, right? He's playing Inferno. Oh god. That's like the worst thing when you're tilted. I think the locals would be more knowledgeable about the dam than I am. Well, if you don't mind, I'll tell you what I know. It's only what I read in the newspaper, though. Tomitaki-san's eyes entered an unfocused gaze as he searched through his memory. Then he spoke. The decision to start the dam project was finalized 7 or 8 years ago. I heard it was the next major project after Kurobe. Certainly got a new top player on Inferno, so he's playing that now. Well, what diff? The 6.5 star, or whatever it is, 6.3 star. There were 3 major issues in Japan at that time: improving inter-island transportation infrastructure, meeting the high demand for electricity, and flood control. Tormented so extra, yeah. There was a boom. There's a boom of dam building due to the massive economic stimulus they provided on top of generating electricity and flood control. Higurashi had the right conditions to support dam construction, so it was singled out. It's probably something like that. The dam reservoir would have covered quite a lot of ground when it was completed. The entire area right up to Yaguichi was way upstream would be underwater. But why did they have to pick a populated area like Hinamizawa? Could they have instead picked a place where nobody lived? I'm not really sure why, but I heard that it was just the right terrain for a building. For building a dam. Of course, there was protest here in Hinamizawa. Riki-chan had said that there was a battle. From that choice of words, I had to guess things turned violent. There was a trial, and it had even brought up before the national diet. Last time I was here, you were shooting teddy bears to get lollies. To like you, what's this all about? To like you. I don't know what the second part of that sentence means. Though I've just started like 5 minutes ago. All that's happened is we meet the swole photographer's female friend, and now they're talking about the construction of the dam and what happened, or the construction site, something like that. I don't know. It was covered in the Tokyo newspapers too. Mion had told me all about that as well. I'm sure every resident of Hinamizawa had united to fight together. The feeling of solidarity found here, which could not be expressed properly with mere words, was likely brought about by that battle. Shooting televisions to get lollies to like you. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was... I feel like... Yeah, I was going to say that punctuation's non-existent. As a result, bribery and scandals were brought to light. As things got more and more complicated, they eventually halted construction. If I wanted to know, now was my only chance to ask. It was certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age would be curious about. I felt a little ashamed from the fact that I was petty enough to have my curiosity piqued by Reina and Mion's refusal to talk about the event, but I figured I might as well ask since I had the chance. Just so I would stop thinking about it so much. So there was a dismemberment, right? There was. I happened to be here in Hinamizawa at the time, so I remember it well. Tomitaki-san's answer was nonchalant in contrast to my hesitantly forced out question. Spooky music. It was about this time 4 years ago. I keep thinking like, it was in the 70s. I keep thinking like the murder was like 20 years ago or something, but this is set in like 83 or something. It was the day of the Onikakushi, if I recall correctly. Hey, Abyss, thanks for the follow, dude. I guess you're here. Debate on whether to continue construction on the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near the end. This is set in 83 and murder. Yeah. You know how they do audio descriptions for music? You should do those descriptions. Insert spooky music here. Track 9. Don't worry about it, dude. The incident that was the final nail in the coffin for the dam project. A fight at the dam construction site ended in the victim being murdered. Fearing prosecution, the 6 assailants divided remains into 6 pieces and each hid one. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but one was still on the run. The right arm he'd hidden had yet to be found. The major details lined up with what was in the tabloid I'd read earlier. It certainly was a tragic incident, but it wasn't so terrible that Reina and Mion needed to hide it from me. I guess they didn't want someone who just moved here to have a negative impression of Hinamizawa. I felt grateful for having friends who worried so much about me, as well as shame for still being so interested in it. Don't feel shameful, dude. It's messed up. It was near the end of all the trouble with the dam, you see, so everyone was saying that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. Oyashiro-sama's curse, huh? Oyashiro-sama was the name of the god at the shrine that held the festival today, if I recall correctly. I see, their guardian deity rained divine punishment down on the evil dam constructions for trying to flood Hinamizawa. Apparently the younger ones didn't think so, but it seemed the elderly in the village never doubted that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman with Tomitaki-san said with a mischievous chuckle. Tomitaki-san began laughing with her. It was so infectious I ended up laughing as well. But I wonder about now. There was quite a few, I think, amongst the youth too. A few what? People who believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman's lips were still curled into a smile, but her expression turned stern. Then after that, it continued every year. Always around this time. Continued? What continued? Tomitaki-san paused for a second as if to build up some suspense, then he whispered to me, as if someone might have been listening. Every year on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody dies. Oh, spooky. The year following the dismemberment, on the day of Watanagashi, a man from Hinamizawa who had supported the dam fell off a cliff overlooking some rapids and died while he was on vacation. Unfortunately for his wife, the body was never recovered. Wait, I'm too spooked, help! He supported the dam construction even though he lived in Hinamizawa. At the time, there were whispers amongst the elderly saying it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. The woman chuckled mischievously again. Then the next year, the night of the Watanagashi, the shrine's Shinto priest died suddenly from an unknown illness. His wife drowned herself in the bog that night. The shrine's Shinto priest? You mean he was from the shrine here? The woman nodded. There was a rumor amongst the villagers that they weren't able to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger. Then the year after that, again on the night of Watanagashi, they discovered the battered body of a local housewife. Housewife? Up until now, all these mysterious deaths were people involved with the dam or who had connections with Oyashiro-sama. With that in mind, could the housewife have been involved in some way too? Exactly, the woman stated slightly. No, it was more menacingly. One of the victim's relatives, you see, was connected to the younger brother of the dam supporter who fell to his death 2 years before. Yeah, I know it. The younger brother is still alive, it seems, but it did bother him quite a bit, so he moved to the neighbouring town. For what? Yeah, I'd be like paranoid as shit. For a while, I stood there with my mouth agape. The battle over the dam construction with Hinamizawa's future at stake, and the murder at the centre of it all. That was all I knew, and that was all I wanted to ask about. But that wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illness, suicide, fatal beatings. I'm a pretty level-headed person. I don't really want to believe in curses, but the freakish deaths happen every year on the day of the Watanagashi, and all of them were related to the dam construction. It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves, but when you put them all together, dismissing all of them as a coincidence would then defy logic. I don't believe in curses, but every single year on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody or something makes it happen, without fail. The woman chuckled again as if she picked up on what I was thinking. It felt like she was saying, maybe we frightened him, stuff like that. I felt embarrassed at being read so easily. I pressured Tomitaki-san to continue, a bit of impatience and irritation in my tone. Then, so someone died the next year, right? Who was it that time? I wonder, who do you think, Keiji-kun? The hell? The way he said it didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone ticked me off. Don't avoid the question. I'm serious here. Hey, calm down, Keiji-kun. I realised when she tried to calm me down that I had been panicking. We aren't trying to avoid the question, Keiichi. It's just whenever you say the next year, that's today. Yeah, they just picked up. When she hesitated to say it, Tomitake's finished for her. I broke into a cold sweat. I really didn't like the direction this was heading. Nobody wanted to speak of it, but they all think it's going to happen again tonight. The festival is so cheerful though. Well, the victim last year, the housewife, she was a non-believer. It turns out she didn't even attend the Watanagashi festival. There was a rumor going around that if you didn't participate in the festival, you would incur Urashiro-sama's wrath. Didn't you hear anything about this, Keiichi-kun? I never even heard a whisper of that rumor. Then the reason everyone was at the festival was that they were afraid of the curse? I figured out that must have been the reason. There were a lot more people at the Watanagashi than usual. I guess everyone was just afraid, after all, of Oyashiro-sama's curse. I couldn't utter a single word. Oh god. That's true. I didn't think about that. In this modern age, where we've made progress in all scientific fields, shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood, where black and white television has been eradicated and we sent men to the moon. Even with all our accomplishments, this can exist in modern society. Tons of investigations were sent out to neighbouring towns' youth groups to help pad the numbers, but after that string of events, a few decided to join. The municipal committee, is that how you say it? Yeah, I think so. Committee members were complaining about how hard it was to gather participants. Also, the police are treating each case as isolated. They don't believe they're connected. Okay. They're trying to keep it quiet, so it's all plain clothes officers. It finally began to dawn on me why Reina and Mion were reluctant to talk. If nothing happened during this Watanagashi, everything would have been over with, and I'd be none the wiser. If nothing happened, all would be well. In that case, it would all end up being just crazy talk. I would have just pretended like I knew nothing from the beginning. Then they wouldn't have had to act like nothing had happened, and we would have all gone back to life as usual. Maybe it was just too much for him after all. The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed. No, it wasn't. Not at all. I had tried to act strong, but that just served to emphasize how much the information had unsettled me. After seeing how I looked, Tomitake-san appeared to regret saying anything. Letting out a sigh, he then spoke, forcing an awkward, upbeat demeanor. Keiichi-kun, surely you don't believe in such things as curses? Well, no. If the causes of all the crimes were unknown, with the perpetrators and their methods all mysteries, then I would think it's the work of a curse. But that's not how things are in reality. The police are investigating evidence and suspects to uncover the truth. Hearing him say police made me feel a lot better. It was perfect for repelling the word curse. The first one, the dismemberment, for example. I told you, didn't I? All but one of the perpetrators were arrested. It's only a matter of time for the last one. The motive turned out to have been an argument they had while intoxicated. That's no curse. Don't you agree? That was true. If it didn't happen on the day of the Watanagashi, then I wouldn't think it was related to the curse at all. The accidental death of the man who supported the dam is the same. He was in a position that made others hate him. The police made a point of investigating from that angle, then concluded it was an accident, not foul play. But they both happened on the day of the festival, right? Just think about it, Keiichi-kun. Do you think people with a lot of enemies here in Hinamazawa could participate easily in a local festival? It would be especially hard for them to be around during the Watanagashi. So they probably left Hinamazawa intentionally around this time of year to travel, don't you think? It wasn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what Tomitake-san was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking more questions so that I could convince myself. Then Tomitake-san, what about the priest who died after that? The one with the unknown illness? That also happened on the day of the festival. It's even easier to explain what happened to the Shinto priest. The Watanagashi is a really big event that happens once a year. It was probably from all the built-up stress. Or it may have been because of pre-existing condition, but it was an unknown illness. It's hard to believe something with an unknown illness could exist with all our advances in medicine. It's just an exaggeration. Rumours making rumours. anyone would get worked up over having incidents happen 2 years in a row. The sudden death is quite unnatural though. Of course the police ordered an autopsy because of the strange way he died, but there wasn't enough for them to open a full investigation, you know. Turns out it was just a sudden death due to illness. The priest's wife committed suicide, correct? What about that? I believe I already explained that. Everyone was shaken up by the incidents happening for a third year. Those who are of strong faith were quick to believe it was the work of the curse. Of course, that included the priest's wife. Apparently they found a suicide note that said something like, "My death will quell Oyashiro-sama's anger." Well then, how about the next incident with the housewife? That happened on the day of the Onikakushi too. The perpetrator had already been caught and the case had been closed. Turns out it was just some nutjob trying to continue the legacy of the Hinamizawa curse. Then, how about that incident the next year? Oh yeah, this year is the next year. Tomitaki-san gave a hearty laugh. Why are you laughing about this? Nothing will happen. Not this year. There was never a curse to begin with. It's just a group of people believed it was the explanation for a string of coincidences. My internal computer finally got itself back on track. I felt a bit embarrassed by how childish I'd become after losing control and panicking. I can see very clearly now that Keiichi-kun really does like Hinamizawa. Even if Oyashiro-sama's curse actually did exist, Keiichi-kun couldn't bring himself to believe that such a thing existed. I felt very relieved. I should probably just forget everything I heard tonight. I agree. It was all just a coincidence. I'm a little scared about how they decided to give a sprite to the girl. Yeah, she's just like a main character, isn't she? Yeah. I guess so. I'll greet Vayner and Mian tomorrow with the same smile as always. They probably also like tonight to end without incident so they can continue on tomorrow without having worried me. Perhaps seeing my change in attitude, the woman who had been listening in stretched as she got up from the rock she was sitting on. Well then. I should be getting back. Goodness, I think I may have gone on a bit too long. There were so few people compared to the crowd from before, I could only make out a few groups of the families enjoying the cool evening air. I looked at my watch. It seemed we had talked for the better part of an hour. Jesus Christ. That's like even longer than I've been talking for. Didn't you come along with your friends, Keiichi-kun? Not going to look for them? Oh yeah. They might all be looking for me. You're quite the scoundrel, making the girls look for you. What a guy. See you, Keiichi-kun. Have a nice night. You too, Jiro-san. I'll see you a bit later. Jiro-san. Oh, that's Jiro-san, okay. Tomitaki-san seemed to be quite the scoundrel himself, so... okay, maybe not. So his name is Jiro. Oh, whatever. After dusting it off his backside, she disappeared into the crowds of people still busy cleaning up the shrine grounds. Tomitaki-jo, yeah. Hey, funky music again. Keiichi-kun! So sorry. In her place, Reina came running over. I could see all the others behind her. Speak of the devil. Foreshadowing. My bad, Kei-chan. We got so caught up in our discussion. I'd completely forgotten about them while caught up in my own conversation, so we were even. Oh god, it's hell. What's wrong with... Oh. No, you haven't seen it yet. So Tomitaki-san was with you. This works out perfectly. Hey, Kilorika. We still need to settle the shooting gallery competition. Aha, that's right. So I guess I'm going to end up dead last. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. In the end, after my dramatic victory, Rika-chan was the last challenger, but there weren't many targets left. I like how they sandwich like the creepy conversation about the string of murders or whatever, the string of deaths in between like some stupid bullshit like this. All of them. The ones remaining were all tiny and difficult to hit. She did take her time and aim, but all 3 shots completely missed. She was to end up sharing the loser's crown with Tomitaki-san. You suck, Rika! However, she did her little mewing cry in front of the owner, and he turned to mush instantly. She's given a pack of gum as a consolation prize. Her methods were a bit audacious, but she did avoid being the loser rather magnificently. That's just cheating. That's like instantly gives Tomitaki-san a disadvantage because he's not going to be like cute. Come to think of it, Rika-chan is quite the trickster. I agree. I have no idea what Keiichi is talking about. Now then, it's decided that Tomitaki-san is dead last. Everyone cheered and applauded. Tomitaki-san smiled warily and slightly bewildered. So, Tomitaki-san, are you ready? Penalty time. Yeah, that's true, actually. His pecs are like, oh! Are you ready? Penalty time. Oh, I completely forgot about that. Your turn to... You gotta put on a girl swimsuit. You're too naive, Tomitaki-san. This is why our club can never lose. Mion pulled a felt tip marker from her pocket. Oh, it's that. Show him some mercy, Mion. At least use a washable marker. A permanent one is too harsh. It just has to be permanent. It comes off when you do the laundry anyway. Oh, that's boring. And he never lets go. Yeah. Why? Yeah, I just realized that he should have like a strap around his neck for it because, like, that's ridiculous. He doesn't even have like a bag to put it in. Whoa, what's this? Please take it easy on me. All of us pinned his arms behind his back and we all approached him with the markers in one hand. Yeah, because like some school children who can outpower him. Okay, and shwip. And but she didn't write on Tomitaki-san's face. She wrote on the shirt he was wearing. Oh, please change the... You better have your big break this year, Mia. Reina took up the marker next. Show me your photos next time, okay? Star. It was a little heartwarming, and I just had to laugh. This is 83 we're talking about. That camera's heavy. I mean, I guess it. That does look quite a modern camera, to be honest. That looks like at least from like early 2000s. Because they had it would have been just like film, wouldn't it? I guess it's not digital, but this does still look quite modern. The sprites are still the new ones, aren't they? Oh no, they're not. Holy crap. I mean, that doesn't really show anything, does it? That shows like almost one of those crappy Kodak ones, the disposable ones. I forgot No, I don't know why it didn't... Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. They made him fat, yeah. Wait, does it? Oh, it does. I didn't notice that. Oh, that's cool. This is more like a farewell card than a penalty. It's not as soft. I'm not as soft as the rest. I'll make sure this is a proper penalty. Ha 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 ha. Haha, I did last. Then try harder next time. See, they do like the lines of who's speaking then. Here you go, Keiichi-san. I couldn't decide what to rate, but based on what kind of penalty this was probably the most appropriate. Come back and play again, Keiichi. Tomitaki-san was silent. Oh, that's what they're writing. Never mind. Tomitaki-san was silent the entire time. Yeah. At first he was quite bewildered, but now he had a different look on his face. So I have to wear this all the way back to Tokyo as part of the penalty, of course. Dude, no. I don't know if I want to do that. Because there's a recent Windows update. I don't know if I want to like delete the old one. I feel like it's going to mess up something. I'll do it later, regardless. Of course, you better wear it all the way home. You could wear it when you come back. It would be nice. He appeared deeply moved. Embarrassed, mixed with a wealth of other emotions, made him turn bright red. I don't like that they don't change the avatars much. That they could have easily done another one for the shirt and for his face and stuff. Understood. I'll wear this next time I come here. I promise. Everyone cheered and applauded. It was the finest parting gift possible for a buddy heading out tonight. I saw the woman who was with Tomitaki-san standing near the festival grounds. It seemed Tomitaki-san noticed her too and knew it was time to leave. Dude, you said that about everybody so far. Seems like your guest is waiting. Isn't it about time? Yeah, that's certainly how it seems to her. Tomataki-san headed off towards her and seemed to apologize for making her wait. We all shouted stuff at Tomataki-san. Each time we did, he looked back and waved his hand. Eventually, he faded into the darkness of the night, out of sight. It was quite the casual farewell. This wasn't the first time any of us had seen someone off. Me and Reina Satoko Keiichi. Okay, fair enough. They had done the same thing many times before. He's gone. Well, it's about time we take off too. Rika-chan had to stay behind with the other committee members since they were having a meeting. Satoko was tagging along with her. I headed back home with the usual suspects. The walk back was quite lively with the talk of the day's war stories. Should have done this, should have done that kind of stuff. Oh. Reina and I parted ways with Mion, and then it was just the two of us. Then we got to my house, and I parted ways with Reina as well. It's already pretty late, and are you alright by yourself? Yes, I'm perfectly fine. It's close. I'm going to run too. If you run into some weirdo, just yell. No, I'll just bust out the axe. If someone does come, will you come and save me, baby? Maybe? If I hear you. How? Okay. I'll scream loud enough so you can hear me. Oh god, they're like taking the piss though. Hope they get some photos of the dead. Of the deed. Do you mean to say photos of the deed? Leaving the town on Onikakushi. Oh, yeah. Merrily spinning her arms around at high speed, Reina dashed off. She was fine. In that mode, not even an adult could stand against her. Deed. Oh, okay. The deed number. Oh, okay. I thought you were like the deed of like a property or something. Reina's cheerful presence disappeared and it finally became quiet again. The curse that not a single person even whispered about. The more I learned about it tonight, the more unsettling it became. It didn't show any of their faces, but they were probably all quite concerned about it as well. But if nothing happens tonight, then it all ends up being crazy talk. Nothing will happen, nothing bad, nothing at all. What's wrong, Keiichi? Why are you still standing in a place like that? Come inside, you'll catch a cold. It was my mum. Did you go, mum, to the Watanagashi festival? In the end, your father didn't wake up. He's already dead! So I missed it. A little disappointing. Mum stuck her tongue out with a bit of an embarrassed look on her face. Next scene. Okay, this should be like chapter 7 now. I don't know. We'll soon find out. Subtle hints in between the lines. No, I'm just taking the piss. I barely remember what happened, and you'll realise why soon enough. Alright, let me save, and then I'll look through those tips. End of chapter 6. Oh, we're getting good. We're getting close. View new tips. What we got? Oh my god, that's 4. Oh, this is all the those ones. Oh, okay. Sounded like we're dead. Hiju couple's falling incident. This is gonna be like the length of a chapter just here. From the June 1980 edition, on the afternoon of X at 2 p.m, office employee and his wife of Hinamizawa village in Shishibone Prefecture disappeared after falling 27 meters from the observatory platform, I can't say that word, in Shirakawa Prefecture. Police and the firefighters searched downstream and discovered the body at around 7 p.m. that evening. His wife had yet to be found. The search has run into difficulties due to the effects of Typhoon 3 from the previous day. It appeared a railing at the observatory had that the person leaned on had broken, causing him to fall. The groundskeeping staff was questioned by the police in regards to facility deterioration and if park maintenance was performed properly. These are like tongue twisters, Jesus Christ. Oh, that was really short. The terminal illness death of Shinto priest Frode. From the June 1981 edition, on the afternoon, around 10 p.m, in the district of Hinomazawa village in Shishibone Prefecture, the Shinto priest of the Furude Shrine passed away after an existing condition he was recovering from slowly worsened. Parties close to the deceased said he was suffering from anxiety issues concerning the festival, which was to be held that day. Also, after his death, his wife went missing, leaving behind a farewell note. The police and local youth association continued the search. However, given the presence of the farewell message and the fact that the Onikakushi marsh is said to be bottomless, they had run into difficulties. Jesus Christ, a bottomless marsh. How terrifying is that? Yeah, I'm not going to say that. Shinto princess. I'm sure that's probably still a thing. Housewife murder. It wasn't reported in the newspaper. Oh, okay. Was that it? Okay, that's just creepy. What the hell? Radio log. This is Okinomiya Station calling Unit 3. Unit 3, please respond. This is Unit 3. Loud and clear. Back up. Backup is heading your way. Hold position until further instructions. Over. Roger, until Unit 3 acknowledgement. If it wasn't reported in the newspaper, how did the police solve the case? They didn't solve it, did they? I don't think they did. Requesting no headlights. Requesting radio silence. Station, a doctor has arrived. They wanted to carry it away. What's the order? Over. Acknowledged. Leave it to the doctor. Affirmative. Understood. Backup has arrived. Shouldn't we let them take a photo first? I think the Vic is done for. Spooky. Alright. And on we go. Guessing this is the school. Good morning. Nice job yesterday, K-chan. You didn't do so badly yourself, Mion. Yesterday was fun. Oh, that's right, K-chan. Thank you very much for Mr. Bear. I'm glad you like it. Don't use it as a pin cushion, though. What? I wouldn't. Is that a thing people do? That sounds like voodoo doll level shit. Still chatting happily, we entered the classroom, but the moment I stepped into the room, a splashing sound and a nasty sensation. It was a bucket filled to the brim with water, and unfortunately my foot stepped right into it. Haha, Satoko. Absolutely pwned you. My now, how diligent of you to mop the floor this morning. Clomp, 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 whip, biff. Is it? Okay, I didn't know that. Wow, Keiichika flicked my forehead. Okay, come on. Why are you crying about that? You just, like, made him step in water. You should set more of a brutal trap next time. Seeing that, Reina began to swoon. Mion looked on dejectedly. Dejectedly. Everything was the same as always. Everybody was there. Nothing felt out of place. The uncertainties I'd had in the back of my mind since yesterday had vanished. What is it, Keiichikan? Didn't get enough sleep, maybe? Maybe? I keep so annoyed that she just repeats the last word of every sentence. I slept like a log, but if you want, I'll do a reenactment during class. He shouldn't do that. Rion alerted us to the teacher that was coming, so everyone shuffled over to their seats. 1,000,000%. Wow. You're sure. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday was the festival. Thank you all to the people who stayed until the very end to help clean up. We were all slackers, so none of us actually helped. Clean up. Actually, I had a feeling that the only thing we did was running around the festival and cause a ruckus. Okay then, this time of year, you might see some people here from out of town doing interviews about the festival for magazines. I thought it was the usual stuff, so I was going to tune it out, but then I noticed a different tone in her voice and started paying attention. You may be asked questions. Please don't say anything silly or something that could be taken the wrong way. Oh. God damn it, McGeesh. Do you understand? In unison, everybody replied, yes, ma'am. What she said was really vague, but I understood what she was trying to say. After all, this was the 5th year. There was probably lots of third-rate reporters pouring in, hoping something regarding the curse had happened. Reporters hoping people had died. It did nothing but perpetuate the village's bad image. She was saying, don't spout stupid shit you think is funny. And now I was one of the ones who needed to keep their mouths shut. I found it rather cute how I felt a sense of unity from such a trite thing. The fuck is that word? I assume it just means small. Of a remark, opinion, or idea, overused and consequently of little import, lacking originality or freshness. Whatever. If I do say so myself. Banal, mundane. What the heck? I don't know what banal means. I've never seen that word either. Yeah, mundane is just kind of like boring, isn't it? I didn't click that. I was summoned to club activities after school. Since everybody was still pretty tired from yesterday, we just spent the day relaxing. Yeah, that wasn't happening. Oh, she's gonna say peacefully. Okay. Today, let's play a classic game of deduction. How about... Oh, no, please, no more card games. Oh, a game from overseas. Looks interesting. I don't know this one either. The instructions are in English, but the rules don't seem that hard. I won't lose, you hear? I'm not too bad at this game. It seemed that Raina didn't handle this kind of game very well. I might skip through this a little bit. Or maybe this might be interesting to read. Let's see. The rules are: the person who can match the murderer, weapon, and the scene of the crime wins. Isn't that like Cluedo? I haven't played Cluedo, but I'm pretty sure that's like Cluedo. It's detective. There were 3 kinds of cards comprised of suspects, weapons, and locations. Clear. Yeah, okay. I could see that I thought they liked doing card games or something. I could see that the names Mion and Rika were written on the suspect cards. Oh, a card with my name on it as well. There are plenty of different weapons too. You call it a detective around these parts. Okay. There are plenty of different weapons too, like knives, axes, and poison. Their locations are pretty nice too, like the living room, the study, and the court. Yeah, this is definitely cleaner. So basically, you take out one of each of the cards. These are the answer cards. So we shuffle the remaining cards and hand them out. We ask each other about the cards and figure out the right ones. Ah, I see. So the cards. I feel like there might be a little bit of foreshadowing there, so I think I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna need to go in a second to get. I never played it. I guess I don't know. It just wasn't a thing I ever bought or ever played. So I don't know. It kind of sounds quite interesting, but I don't know. So the cards nobody has are the true perpetrators. Then you raise your hand if you know the answer. The game ends and we check if the answer is correct. Are you playing OC at the same time? I'm glad. I have an open world player, so I just passed remote control him that time. Good job, dude. Press off these on. They had Cluedo boards on the table on Grand Central trains to London. Huh. That's interesting. If you're right, then you get points. If you're wrong, then you lose a point. Since the game ends, even if no one gets it right, all the cards are gathered up and redistributed. Dude, the way this game is formatted, I can't even tell who's speaking half the time, so it wouldn't even make a difference. If you're lucky, you might get a voice crack. That's about as close as you're gonna get. You'll learn as you go. You really have to use your brain. You'll get confused if you don't take notes. The rest you can figure out by playing. So Mion, what's the penalty this time? Everyone directed their attention to Mion. Get mad. I don't care. Let's see. We're all still a little tired from yesterday, so maybe we'll take it easy with a gopher penalty. You'll be asked to rush out and buy stuff for everyone. Just do the most racist No, that's just asking for trouble. That's asking to be clipped. So just being asked to go buy stuff like drinks and candy, I guess. Yeah, I don't think so. I saw that. I saw that. You're not tricking me. I feel like I'm gonna attempt though, I must admit. I feel like the penalty today is God damn it, Dana. Today is pretty simple. I wonder, is it really? Is Keiichi-san thinking? Is Keiichi-san thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, you don't know what you'll have to go buy. I bet Mion would send out whoever loses to buy stuff like hemorrhoid cream or happy family planning manual. Some crazy stuff. The cards were lightly shuffled and passed out to each player. The real perpetrator, the correct weapon, and the scene of the murder have been taken out, so that means all the cards I have in my hand are innocent cards. Then I'll go first since the club president, I guess. Well then, Mion, knife, study. You pick one suspect, weapon and murder scene and ask each person if you have any of those cards, then you must say I have one. However, you don't need to say which one you have. Okay. Yeah, I got it. I don't really get it. Me too. I have one. Oh my, all of them are here. Yeah, maybe. 3 people answered when she's asked if they had Mion, knife, and study. So that means that Mion and knife and study are all in the clear. Got to jot that down. God, this is too much for my small brain capacity. Then I'll go Reina, axe, lounge. Only 2 people said they had one, so it means out of Reina, axe, and lounge, one of them is correct and is part of the crime. Oh, I see. I think I get it. No way, even if they... Wait, are they just doing it like card game style? Or have they actually got like a board? No way, even if they say they have one, they don't have to say how many. It's possible that either Satoko or Rika-chan has 2 of the cards. Oh, that's true. Well, Kei-chan is next. Go ahead. Well, wait just a little. I'm just sorting things out. Give my brain, like, time to process. Jesus. The game has me thinking more than I thought. They don't have a board. Yeah, probably not. The game has me thinking more than I thought. Oh man, this feels just like it's going to be tough. Alright, now I have the criminal. What? Already? Here I am spinning around in circles and Mion just now raises her hand. The murderer is Rika-chan in the infirmary with the poison. Cause party flashbacks. Mion drew the cards from the box and we checked to see if her deduction was right. You were right. Thinking more than I thought. All I needed was one more hand. I couldn't tell whether it was poison or a pistol. I'd never use a pistol. I like... Okay, Rika. Okay. What the fuck? What the fuck? Rika just said such a hugely terrifying thing with such a sweet little face. I'm sorry. I thought it was useful. Everyone was making a commotion about how they almost had it. Rain and I were left out in the cold though. Maybe? I'm not sure. I don't know. How did you do, Keiichi-kun? I couldn't get it at all. Don't worry, I had no idea either. We're both useless. How could you both be so unsure? You'll both end up in last place together at this rate. That's even worse. Going off buying something together as a couple. What if we ended up having to buy the Happy Family Planning Guide? I can tell from Keiichi's expression that he's not very good at this game. What? That's not true. I see the true power of Sherlock Maribara during the next round. My, that sounds just wonderful. I should have given you quite the thrashing. She almost went like Transylvanian then. After that, I managed to somewhat grasp the trick behind the game, but I was still always a step or two behind. I saw that Mian was somehow gleaning information from how the others were asking their questions. That level of experience was just too much. The only way I could stage a comeback was if I became ruthless. I tossed out the simple concept of deduction and switched over to the thought process needed to win. The important thing isn't to find out the criminal, it's to win at the game. What? Sorry, I need to go to the bathroom. I actually do need to IRL as well. I need to take a break after this scene. Take your time and squeeze out a nice one. What? What? What does that even mean? Misha, that's gross. I had them hold off the game and headed down the hall. What the hell? The air was crisp. It showed just how stagnant the air in the classroom was from our body heat. Wait. What? Why is there just a sink here? Just like in the middle of the corridor. Is that a thing? Is that like a normal thing? I've never seen that before. On the school grounds, some of our classmates were still playing around. After spending some time cooling my head, Reina had made her way over towards me. Keiichi-kun, did you call for me? Yeah, I did. As I got up from my seat, I winked over at Reina. I'm glad it worked out. I don't want to waste much time, so I'll get right to the point. Reina, what's your record at this game we're playing together today? She was taken aback. After a moment, she hesitantly opened her mouth. All losses. Why do you ask, I wonder? For when you're in school and have the urge to wash up. I could tell from how apprehensively she was playing. The way things are going, I will as well. I can't figure out a way to pull off a last-minute comeback on this one. Can't you just like guess? So I guess once you got like 2 of the 3, can't you just guess? I guess both of us will be taking that penalty. Hey, don't accept defeat already. How about we win this, both of us? But how can we? I brought my lips up to Reina's ear. He said lewd things. Is that allowed? Did you forget, Reina, the second rule of our society? Do everything in your power to attain victory. Oh, so even cheating. Okay. Hey, I'll try my best. Our plan of attack was quite a rudimentary one. At the beginning of the game, everyone would be focused on their own hand for a while, taking notes and whatnot. Since our seats were right next to each other, we'd reveal our hands to each other. Oh, I see. If we did it under the desk, then nobody would know. Hey, congrats on level 4, Magish. We begin the game with twice as much information as everyone else. Having this much information would mean we'd need to investigate less. I reckon they're gonna get caught out and have to do like an even bigger punishment. With this sort of plan of attack, we start off with a big lead over the other guys. Yeah, with this, we can probably win. We both smirked at each other. If I was the shady businessman and Reina was the corrupt senator, pleasure doing business with you. Then let's hurry back. We'll work as a duo to surprise everyone. Hey now, there's no point if we go back together. It would be like flat out telling them we made a little arrangement. Good true. Very true, very true. Sorry, then what should we do? Go back ahead of me, Reina. I'll take my time coming back after washing my face or something. Okay, got it. Reina turned around and headed back to the classroom. I guess I should wait a bit longer before going back. If I went too soon, it wouldn't seem like I went to the bathroom. If Leon or one of them suspected something, then there could be problems. Well, they'd figure out sooner or later because both Reina and I would start winning over and over again. Both Reina and I will have earned enough points to avoid being the losers by the time Mion realizes what was happening. Excellent, not bad at all. Maya Barakon, Maya, have a moment. Her as the teacher. Man, things were just getting good. Damn it. What is it? I'm a bit... You have a guest. Oh, I know who this is, I think. Please make your way to the entrance. A guest? It's not like I own a hotel. They have been waiting. Please hurry. I was rather unfortunate that I'd have someone waiting on me right before my big match, but I was more interested in the unexpected guest. I didn't want to waste any time, so I decided to take care of it quickly. The entryway was a heavy contrast from the hot sunlight and deep shadows. There he is. Waiting there, looking uncomfortably warm, was a middle-aged man, his tie sloppily loosened and his jacket tucked underneath his arm. Are you Maribara-san? Keiichi Maribara-san? There was no question that he wasn't a resident of Hinamizawa, and that this was without a doubt the first time he had met me. Ever since I met Tomitaki-san, I'd been running into so many middle-aged men. What, like 2? Yes, so many. That's right. Who might you be? I have the AC on in my car. Let's talk there. A bit hot. It's a bit hot out here, don't you think? The man, completely ignoring my question, pointed over to his car parked near the gate and began walking. You've got to be kidding me. I had no intention of going along with some geezer I didn't even know, and he was asking me to get into his car with him. Don't get into the car with strangers, kids. I'm not going to bite. Come on now. He opened the back. Yeah, I don't think the biting is the problem. He opened the back door of his car and called me over, and then he locked the door and drove off. I didn't like this old man, but I wanted to know what this was about. You think this man is fat? That's true. He can't even win a game of Cluedo, for God's sake. Even well knowing that conversations that start out like this have never led to anything good. Sweet car, bro. The inside of his car was pretty cool. It's pretty rad, dude. Cars with air conditions were supposed to be a luxury. Yeah, in 1983 or whatever, it probably was. My dad didn't have one in his car, at least, and he was a famous painter. Please let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking it all the way up. So what business do you have with me? Out of spite, I decided to ignore his remark in the same way he did to me and start my own line of questioning. He pulled out a notepad from his pocket and took out a picture that was stuck between the pages. On it was the face of a pretty goofy looking guy. If you know anything related to this individual, then please tell me. Who the heck is this? I doubt even his close friends would be able to recognize who he was from this expressionless pictures he took like it was taken at the DMV. There were scribbles on his shirt done in permanent marker, starting with yours, Maribara-san. And quite a few of your classmates signed as well. Hey, you got it. Congratulations, Dada. This is Tomitaki-san. There was no hint of his usual unreliable and easygoing personality in this photo. It was an expressionless, half-asleep face. Then do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea of who it was. I don't remember her name, but she's some lady who was with Tomitaki-san last night. I didn't know what her name was, but I did know she was a resident of Hinamizawa. When was the last time you saw these two? The night of the Watanagashi. We spoke. They seemed pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for every little detail is very troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea of who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? There was no response to my inquiry. Thus, I replied to that silence in kind. I was pretty certain that this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking about Tomitaki-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who knew more about him than I did? The roar of the air conditioner felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he finally spoke again. You've moved here just recently, isn't that right, Maribara-san? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oyashiro-sama? My heart began to race. I'm pretty terrible at hiding things. It probably showed on my face. Not at all? If you don't, then that's fine. Well, I have heard of it. Tomitaki-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it? The dismemberment killing, the accidental death, the death by illness, followed by suicide, and the lady who was beaten to death. The incidents that always happen the day of the Watanagashi, ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tomitaki-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. No, rather I didn't want to think that there was anything more than that. Do you know of that, well, curse, Maribara-san? Feel free to speak openly about it. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it as I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my own doubts. That was the more prominent feeling. Really? Then that's great. Guess you really are one of those city-raised boys. So what if I don't believe? I have friends waiting, so could you get to the point? The man in this picture is dead. Rest in peace, Tomitaki-san, aka Swole Camera Dude. My mind went blank. Is that even that? I feel like he would have reacted to that at some point. Did his internet die or something? Huh? What happened to Tomitaki-san? It would seem that he died last night. That was the night of Tanagashi. I'm here. Oh, okay. Hi. Do you understand the implications behind that, my Para-san? Implications? Not any yet. Not any for the cause of his death or the reasons behind it. The real problem was that he died on the day of the Watanagashi, meaning this year the curse of Oyashiro-sama had once again. The death of Jiro Tomitaki is still confidential. You can understand why that is, right? I didn't want to understand why. Please tell me what happened. It was rather peculiar. It might be a... What is this music? Wait, it was just a sound effect? That was so weird. Hey Riot. Hey Riot. How you doing, dude? It was rather peculiar. It might be a little too graphic for someone born and raised in Hinamizawa. It was a roundabout way of saying it, but it caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. I would only regret forcing myself to learn of something I shouldn't. Or at least that's how I figured I would feel if I listened to the rest. I'm good. I'm alright. Just playing through this very, very, very long game. Which I hopefully will be able to play all of, but that's asking a lot. I think I'm like I'm only about like just over, I'm probably about 60% through this one game, and there's like 8 the size of this, and 3 of them aren't even translated yet. One of our patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from the security detail at the festival. It was late, about 5 till midnight. The location was you know where the road into town becomes paved, right? Down past the slope on the shoulder around there. There was a few street lights on that road. Its pitch black darkness was only broken by the lights of passing cars and the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tomitaki-san was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tomitaki-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first, but when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open. From a knife or something? No. Nails. Nails, as in fingernails. With those, he clawed through. From the coroner's report, it was revealed that it was with his own nails. What does that mean? Basically, it means it wasn't a murder, it was suicide. Tomitaki-san thought there was a reason to tear open his own throat. As hard as he could with his own nails, tore through the skin until he started to bleed. And even then, Tomitaki-san didn't stop. He continued clawing, with enough intensity that he could have peeled off his nails, still clawing. And then all his nails reached those vital arteries that you should never damage. He continued clawing. Blood splattered on the ground around him, and he bled. While gasping for breath, he collapsed, his body spasmed, and he died in agony. We thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. But this, it was a suicide? I'd never heard of such a thing. This unnatural way of dying. If this wasn't a mysterious death, then what was? The way he died in these 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse. And if to show both myself and Tomitaki-san, who proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. There were a few more suspicious details. From his body chemistry, perspiration, epilation, and so on, we concluded that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death. Did you still like hear all that? Amazing. I don't think I could be asked to read this unless I put it's not really that expensive, to be honest. It was all on a sale for Halloween, so it was only like £3.50 for like a 12-hour game or something. It's pretty good value. I like how it's not like the entire thing, because it's so long. It would be like a waste of money if you don't finish it. But like, if you just get like halfway through a chapter, you've only, you know, wasted a couple quid rather than like 40 or whatever. State of hysteria before his death, that was a given. It's hard to believe someone could be in a sound state of mind while clawing out their own throat. Wounds on his hands matched a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces of where he struck trees and the guardrails with it. Tomitaki-san's blood was found all over the place. Meaning that while tearing out at his own throat, he was swinging around a piece of lumber. There were external injuries which were not self-inflicted, discovering on Tomitaki-san. There is a high probability Tomitaki-san was assaulted. The external injuries suggest there may have been multiple suspects. What about the lady? I don't know yet. To summarize, Tomitaki-san was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night roads in a state of panic, after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat, clawing at it. Then he died. The presumed time of death was around 9:23 p.m. Wow, that's like really early. I was thinking it was like 3 in the morning or something. That's like as soon as they left. And even then, they left pretty early. Meaning it occurred right after you finished talking to Tomitaki-san at the festival. Everyone signed Tomitaki-san's shirt, then parted ways. Right after that. Oh yeah, he should have been with a woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't shown up to work, and she hasn't returned home either. There's a very high probability that she was involved in this incident. For a while, I could only gaze off into space. I never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to somebody so close to me could affect me this deeply. The time I had spent with Tomitaki-san was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. He had been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to Oyashiro-sama's curse, the villagers here aren't very cooperative. That I knew well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tomitaki-san, the outsider, telling me. So that's why you came to me? Because I'm not originally from Hinamazawa? I should have been angry that that was the reason he wanted to hear what happened for me. If things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro Tomitaki died from Oyashiro-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed off far into the distance. The night of the Watanagashi, during that secret ritual he called snapped off photos, angering Oyashiro-sama. That's how it's going to turn out. Right, not cautiously. There's no way Oyashiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomitaki-san. Tomitaki-san had been killed by humans and a cowardly group, no less. There's no way I'm going to let this end up being the fault of some curse. Damn it, Canon. It's the camera's fault. It showed like a blood splatter on a black background. That's it. I think so as well. There's no such thing as divine punishment or curses. The tense mood was cut with the man's hearty laugh. Okay, yeah, that's what it showed. That's how this must be, Maibara-san. Cooperation for individuals in Hinamazawa who don't believe in the curse is indispensable. Understand? I'm kind of interested to see, like, they do show like pretty much everything in the series. Like in the anime, they show like, they don't like cover it up with like black screen or anything. They do show like everything. So I am quite I'm wondering if they are going to show it like as just a freeze frame type thing, or just like a black background with descriptions. It's almost worse without just seeing it, because like it'll be shocking at first and then you'll get used to it. But if you're like, you don't see it, you're just imagining it, that's like almost worse. Like the thing in Corpse Party. Neither Tomitaki-san nor I believed in curses, but with the way things were going, it would just end up with Tomitaki-san's death marking the 5th year. which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomitaki-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomitaki-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that Tomitaki-san could have been cursed by Orashiro-sama. But there is nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either. No. If you see or hear something that draws your attention, then that is enough. If I see or hear, he was talking about in the future tense. Things or people or rumors. Anything is fine. I don't care if they're unfounded. Here, this is my number. If I'm not there, then just leave a message with whoever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whether I wanted to or not, I'd be mired, knee deep in this. No, don't know that. Caused to become stuck in mud. Okay. Please help me solve these questions surrounding Tomitaki-san's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. I snapped up the piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face. That's slightly creepy. Everything we spoke of today is a secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood. From your friends as well, especially from Sonozaki-san and Furude-san. Please do not inform them. That's Mion and Rika, I think. Oh yeah, Furude Shrine. Yeah, that would make sense about her father being a shrine priestess or whatever. Priestess. Whatever. I'm not gonna say that right. Sonozaki, you mean Mion? Why are you saying they have something to do with the incident? With my friend's name is brought up so abruptly and being told to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry. This is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose. No, I think that made sense. It was like he was stuck. He was stuck in the situation if he accepted it. Don't play games with me. Mion is a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, but he didn't seem to especially be offended. I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may just upset you. Say it. He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began to speak after thinking for a bit. There is a possibility that the string of incidents happening here in Hinamizawa are a result of a village conspiracy. There's no way that could be right. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that? No evidence. Also, each of the cases were resolved and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. Then how did you come to that conclusion? Every year, the enemies of the village die on the day of Watanagashi. Don't you think that's enough reason to suspect something? Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt that the day of the Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, because incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa. First, it was the dam construction foreman. Then it was the villager that supported it. Those the village held a grudge against die one after another from the mysterious causes. The means are different, but in the end the result is the same. Unfounded, unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't just be shrugged off. Yeah, maybe. So the victims after that, what about the Shinto priest and his wife's death? They weren't enemies of the village. The villagers had expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute, but he wasn't proactive, so there was a faction of villagers who harbored ill will towards him as a result. Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about that housewife after that? Did she die because she was the wife of the brother of a supporter? That's such a trivial reason to kill someone. And what about Tomitaki-san? He's not affiliated with the dam project at all. Was he killed just because he was an outsider? In the beginning, it fell on those related to the dam project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the victims had become much lower. Well, that's the scary part. The bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider is reason enough. Oh boy. Rip me. The anime is really, really rushed. Like, I've been playing this for like, God knows, 10 hours, and it's covered in like half an episode, like an episode and a half. It's all right. I think this is probably, so far, this is like pretty damn good. This is like worthwhile if you have the patience. If not, I still think it's worth watching, but it's still long. It's still like 52 episodes, and it's kind of quite confusing because they rush so much. It's not explained that well, I don't think. But yeah, it's quite good. The art and the voice acting is shit though. If you get past that, then I guess it'll be alright. It is. You won't understand what's going on for a while though. Then next year's victim, they're just going to be picked out of the village outsider pool. It might be a person that just moved here. What do you mean by? I swallowed my words. Here in Hinamazawa, the ones who would be considered the most outside would be my family. I was proof enough of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't really remember the names of the people I passed by. Then the next victims, my family. Was he saying it was going to be me? But what does that have to do with Mion? I can't go into details, but the Sonozaki family led the damn protests. Quite revertedly so. It takes me 10 hours to watch 31 episodes. Yeah, I guess so. It's quite like slow in a way. It's quite, I found it quite hard to watch, I guess. It wasn't like, yeah, let's marathon this in a day. It was like, okay, I can only, it's there's good stopping points. I won't really say why, but there's good stopping points. All right, go ahead, Migish. This is also true of Mion Sonozaki-san herself. She had quite a few misdemeanor and obstruction of public worker offences on her record because of the protests. I knew Mion knew what it meant to fight. This was the first I'd heard of her family leading the protest though. Then, well, what did it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with this string of incidents? I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'd have the highest probability of being behind it. Not a very clear explanation. It felt like he'd magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to know. We don't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want you to say anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression. It seemed that he understood it well enough. Then, think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe it's the curse. How about that? What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? But the reasoning behind wanted me to not carelessly open my mouth about it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with the curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes, and none of the villagers should have anything to do with that process. It made cause so sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly. I just, like everyone, kept it from me so I wouldn't worry about it. Is it now my turn to keep it from them so they didn't have to worry? I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worrying over these mysterious incidents yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man had wanted, and insipid as it was, but it couldn't be helped. Welcome back. Nothing has really happened. They were just saying that the Sonozaki family could possibly be behind conspiracies because they're like the most powerful family in the town, I guess, village. I understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine? Mr. Uishi from the Okinomiya police station. You can call me Kuro-chan if you... What? Why? No. Uishi-san is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained hints of politeness. He was the spitting image of a vulgar police officer. Though I've never seen one this bulky before in the cop shows I've watched. I've taken up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? I should probably let you go back to them. As the game goes on, you're gonna get like even more interested in everything. I think the little details and stuff. Alright, so oh my god, it's 10 o'clock already. The door opened with a click and it streamed the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside of the car. Was it really this hot of a day? It was an almost cruel heat as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Higurashi itself suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad as that thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand that. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that's self-serving. It's fine if you don't see or hear anything, Mayabara-san. There's enough proof that the village is not involved. I'll contact you if I hear or see anything. But I'm no detective. Please don't expect too much from me. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as if you have up until now. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later. Farewell, my Barakan. I returned to the school building without looking back. Right, I'm going to take like a 2-minute break. I'm going to get a drink and have a piss. Alright, bye. Hello, I have returned. I think, before the next stream, I'm gonna make an overlay for it because I don't like the black box. So it'd be kind of like the Toho one, but with the Higurashi character instead. Just like this. Okay, stream maps. I missed that one. I don't know how much time had passed. I did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Tomitake-san's death was hard enough as it was, but to think that there was a possibility of a village conspiracy? Worse still, there was also a chance that Mion was involved? Nonsense. Impossible. Not Mion, Reina, Satoko, or Vika-chan. It was a group that attacked Tomitake-san. Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be they were hiding here somewhere in Hinamizawa? I didn't know. All I could say with certain was that I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator. It's me-chan, the perpetrator. Huh? I was startled to hear Reina's voice. That was, I think, I think that whole Cluedo scene was just for that one line. It's kind of brilliant, to be honest. I don't know. That's a good question. I think it was just the cicadas, wasn't it? They're just kind of everywhere. With the rope in the lounge. But haha, nope. No. Raina clutched her head while flailing about. Looks like you're just self-destructing over here. Wow. Keiichi-san, you're quite late. As you may well know, I am seething with anger. Aha, sorry about that. I was called into the staff room, you see. Lies. You reprimanded for bad behaviour? What the hell is that word? Reprimanded. Rebuke, especially officially. Okay. For bad behaviour? That's a shame. Well, it's been pretty heated over here. Since it's it's getting pretty heated over here. Since it's getting pretty late, let's make the next game the last one. Oh, cute. Oh, her face is so, like, sad. If I remember right, I had 0 points. Isn't it pretty much decided that I'm going to be finished in last place? Pretty much, yeah. Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. I'm a -1. How? She must have got caught for cheating. The heck? Her score is lower than mine and I wasn't even playing. This is the final match to decide if the penalty is going to be carried out by Reina-chan alone or by both Kei-chan and Reina. Yeah, right. Just let Reina do the penalty by herself. Oh, we made a promise, Keiichi-kun, that we would both win. I waited all this time, you know. I'm sorry about that. They cheated. I followed my initial plan of showing Reina my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal and just waited for her to call. I got it. The murderer is me, with the poison and the entrance. Is it? My Reina. Quite the quick answer. Another stab in the dark. Oh. Reina's correct. Oh ho ho. Then it's decided that Keiichi-san shall take part in the penalty as well. Hooray, Keiichi-kun, let's both do our best star. But not many stars today. I'm disappointed. Yeah, let's do our best, haha. It's my fault, so I have no choice. Then that's a game. It's me, Mion Tsunazaki, ranked first. In dead last are Keiichi Maebara and Reina Ryugi. Everybody else applauded and the game ended. The problem now was the penalty. Now then, I ranked first, so I'll decide what you'll be buying me for the go for penalty. Oh, welcome back. They're just playing their game. They're just finishing up their game, and Reina and me lost. There was one line you missed, which was pretty funny there. What will she make us buy, I wonder? Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your aim, wasn't it? Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper. Oh no. Whoa, there's a lot written here. A lot? Damn it, what is she making us buy? What, do we have to pay for it with our own money as well? This is bullshit. 2 blocks of tofu, shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar and fried tofu. The heck is this? It looks more like a shopping list than a penalty. Is she just making her buy no food? Me was certain she was going to win today. Rule 7 of our society, you cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money, the shampoo I usually... She's a genius. Thanks, this is just your grocery list. I promised myself that if I won next time, I'd make her go buy hemorrhoid cream. Oh god, I thought it crashed then. It had like the loading mouse thing. Higurashi, Wender. You have received new tips that are more than 4 perpetrators search notice. I've only got an achievement. View or tips. I meant to press the other one, but that's okay. Uh, a hypovolemic shock induced by clawing out their own throat. Tissues packed under the nails, not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly by the individual's own nails. The shape of the scars also match. Yeah, I know the immediate cause of death was suicide. I get it. You're saying the cause of death is unnatural, right? It's kind of like when your back itches and you scratch a little too hard and draw blood. Some of Tomotake's fingers had been pulled out. It's actually quite simple to pull out one's own nails, but it really hurts. Under normal circumstances, the pain would prevent you from completely This is hurting me just thinking about it. Also, there was a lot of bruises on Tomotake's body. It's clearly from the shape of them that he was assaulted first by someone or a group of people. According to the toxicology report, the deceased was in an extreme state of hysteria right before death. Yeah, it's like the putting a toothpick in between your toe and kicking a door. It's like, it just makes you cringe just thinking about it. Then he fought back and clawed at his own throat because of how hysterical he had become. The guy attacking him certainly would have been surprised by that. Is it possible then in such an abnormal environment a person could perform acts that a sane individual couldn't possibly imagine? Of course, those are very rare cases. Actually, Urishi-kun, that wood plank the deceased used as a weapon, they only found sand and the paint from the guardrail on it. What about cloth fibres or skin? Nothing. The deceased didn't strike the assailants, or could it be that they took the plank he was fighting back with? In that case, they wouldn't have gone out of their way to replace it with another. They'd take them all. Ha 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 ha, that's true. Tomotage-san is pretty built and tanned. He was quite athletic. That's right, he was pretty active. No, not to that degree. I can't imagine what kind of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the highest. Of course, look at him, Jesus Christ. Meaning he would be difficult to overpower in a brawl. If a man with such a physique sensed he was in danger and swung the plank around quickly, it's just unthinkable that he wouldn't even nick the perpetrator. And his opponent was unarmed. The guy had a wooden plank, so you'd think he'd hit him at least once. To surround and take down someone of his physique, I wonder how many people it would take. Yeah, dimwit. You should know better than anyone. Have you forgotten about your bad cop days? If it was to take down this guy, how many would I need? These cicadas are getting really annoying. When a group wants to take down big prey, it's fundamental to attack his with numbers. I guess about 4. Even if there was a gap in their strength, they'd manage. Then there was quite a few perpetrators, so any drunk and disorderly groups of more than 4 are suspicious. A group of 4 or more, just if they had that many, they couldn't have hidden the body in a less obvious location. Or did he somehow break away from that fatal predicament? Yeah, I know, but it's like, it's just annoying. It's not like mixed with a background thing, it's just that. Then we're not even in the forest, like they're so loud. Then there would be no reason to commit suicide. Moreover, I still can't comprehend the irregular way he died. It's full of mysteries. That's under serious consideration on my end too. I'll be examining it as thoroughly as possible, but don't get your hopes up. After all, we've never encountered a death like this before. I'm not hoping for much, but I am looking forward to the results. Urishi-san, the chief is calling you. Thanks, see you around. Yeah, best wishes. That was quite a long one. Search notice. Jiro Tomitake, deceased, resided in a cheap hotel in Shishibone City, registered under the name Jiro Tomitake, pen name. Travels via folding bike, no license. The bicycle was found 300 meters away, abandoned at the side of the forest path. Present on the day of the festival, accompanied by the missing Mio Takano. Was seen around 9 PM by police, location afterwards unknown. Held residence in Hinamazawa 1 week each season for the last 5 to 6 years. Freelance photographer specializing in wild birds. Check with magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located among the articles of the deceased. Wallet was among the articles of the deceased. Mere act of violence. From the content of his wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Chiba, along the Sobu National Railway line. No individual matches the name Jiro Tomitake in the residency records of any of the Tokyo wards. Compare teeth to dental records. Send to Metro, please. Attach photo. Send to Metro, please. Contacting magazine regarding Jiro Tomitake. Mio Takano missing. Nurse at Erie Clinic. Became close to Tomitake through her passion for wild bird photography. Resides in Akanoma District. Single. Witnessed accompanying Tomitake on the festival grounds. Currently missing. Abducted. Or maybe a suspect. An important person of interest. Had no motive to kill the deceased. Squabble from jealousy. Need to thoroughly investigate their relationship. Place of work, etc. Need to get information from the police on scene again. I want some cream puffs. Fudge. Oh, Dad. Jesus Christ. They did that before with the newspaper, didn't they? They did like the ads after. Oh my god. Oh. Sleepy. Whoa, that was a really big yawn, Keiichi-kun. I'm usually awake once it's time to eat, but doesn't look like I can do it today. Hey, congrats on level 18, right? I was watching TV until late last night. I'm so tired right now. I was watching TV until last night. I'm so tired right now. I just said that, didn't I? Was one of those raunchy TV shows you love so much on last night? Was on last night? Oh, how extremely vile. I always want to give it like a really like cockney British voice. But I guess that's just me anyway. Don't jump to conclusions. Like the stereotypical Family Guy British person. It's perfectly normal for boys. Nothing to be ashamed about. Thanks, Rika. Rika not patting my head only made me feel worse. Can you just let me pass out this lunch break? No, seriously. Ma, you think I would just sit here and allow that? I'll get really angry if you disturb me. Really angry. Yeah. This was just dreadful. Just so sleepy. I slumped my head onto the desk and drifted off into an afternoon nap. It seemed that Satoko had responded, but I pretended not to hear. Cut it out, Satoko-chan. Keiichi-kan. Oh, that's probably Reina. Cut it out, Satoko-chan. Keiichi-kan fell asleep. His sleeping face, so cute. Yeah, it was Reina. You can take him home later. Let him be for now. Let's move over there. I'll be rude to Keiichi if we bothered him now. Rika-chan really is a good girl. Let's not wake him up even if the teacher comes back. I take that back. The excuse that I didn't sleep much last night because I was watching TV was a lie. I was in bed at the usual time, but because of the conversation with Uishi-san that afternoon, I didn't get much sleep. Just spending a day like this, it's almost as if the incident with Tomitake-san didn't happen at all. It made me think, was Uishi-san just trying to deceive me? But it was probably the truth. One thing that was certain, I couldn't speak to anyone about it. He wanted my assistance, but I really didn't know anything about it. If I knew I wasn't going to be of any help, I probably wouldn't have listened in the first place. It ended up with me again, regretting learning something I didn't need to know. If I had never learned about it, I would, without a doubt, be goofing off with the rest of them right now. I couldn't help but resent Oishi-san for this. Huh? Well, when was that? I heard he wasn't there the next day. Creepy music. It appears he vanished the night of the Watanagashi. Mia whispered to keep others from listening, but I could hear it clearly. On the other hand, Reina's voice was even harder to pick up, but I could still tell that she was quite upset. It couldn't be. Are they talking about Tomitake-san? Intake? Not sure. That's all I know. I don't even know what's supposed to... only... No, I don't know. I would have to feign ignorance about this topic, but I needed to keep it a secret. Rather than waking up and being forced to lie to join the conversation, it was much easier to just sit here and pretend I was asleep to listen in on their discussion. Wait, why did I have to pretend to be asleep while eavesdropping on my friend's conversation? The guilt stung. So, and me, there are others, right? 2? But they don't know if it's from the curse or if it was from the Onikakushi. Onikakushi? Onikakushi? To be hidden away by a demon. What a mysterious phrase. I did, however... That's the title of the game, I'm pretty sure. Of this chapter of the game. I did, however, get the feeling it meant nothing good. There was another, right? Yeah. If it's Oishiro Summers, yeah. But this year at all, Grandma and the mayor have talked about it. Seems they talked to the police about it beforehand. They said they'd take care of whatever happens this year without causing a commotion. Then without us knowing, someone had them, you mean? This is really hard to read like broken dialogue. Next, couldn't me, I wonder. Don't worry, you got home safely, but it's not allowed, right? That was a long time ago. Let's stop talking about this. Amidst the uncomfortable mood, both of them went silent. The entirety of the conversation was still a bit unclear, but a few parts caught my attention. First of all, the term Onikakushi, to be demoned away, but by the context it was used in, I would guess is similar to being spirited away, a very good movie from 2001 by Studio Ghibli. I suspected that was what it meant because Tomitaki-san and that woman, it really bugged me that I don't know her name. Wait, what? Didn't the cop told her though? What? Vanished after a Tanakashi. Is that? I'm confused. I swear the cop said it. The next thing that stuck out was when Reina said there's another one, right? Mion had also said if it's Oishiro Summers, yeah, responding to something. I swear he said it out loud though. Oh, was that in the tip, the tip thing? Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Fair play. If it's Oishiro Summer's curse, then there had to be 2 victims. Is that what she meant? Come to think of it, I remember Mion saying at the beginning that they didn't know if it was from the curse or if it was a case of Onikakushi. It seems that the curse and being demoned away are different things, and they were phenomena that were paired together. I recalled Tomitaki-san's terrible end. That wasn't something as elegant as disappearing. That horrendous end would be best described as cursed. Then the woman with him, it means she vanished because she was demoned away. What I do know is that there's normally an even number of victims of the curse proper. At the last point that bothered me was Reina. Reina was frightened. For what reason, I didn't know. However, she knew that something had made her a potential target for Oishiro-sama's curse. If I recall it correctly, Oishiro-sama should be the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. Isn't a guardian deity supposed to defend the citizens and drive out invaders? If I recall correctly, yesterday Oishi-san said that originally the targets were enemies of the village, but recently there was no longer any distinction between them or regular outsiders. But if that was the case, then I would think that I'd be the more likely target, having moved him more recently than Reina. From her composure, I can infer that she was grimly certain that she would be next. Is that the room guy? I can't remember what he sounds like. I should probably relay what I heard just now to Oishi-san. Inform the police of what I heard by eavesdropping on my friends while pretending to be asleep. It made me feel terrible. It raised a few questions and left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Would it be better not to seek the answers to those questions? I don't even know how to do that. Yeah, he did that. I don't know how to like put that into like normal text though. I could only like remember the lines. I did not hit her. I did not. As I continued to learn more and more, I felt like I'd fallen past the point of no return. I would definitely regret this one day. I would definitely regret ever having learned of these events. And now we're going back to funky music. The teacher approaches. Keiichi-san, you must awaken. In the distance, I could hear the ring of that handbell signaling the start of afternoon classes. Yeah, I couldn't sleep at all. I hastily opened my eyes and raised my head up. It was in that moment when I leaned against the back of my seat. There was a thumbtack stuck on the back of my chair with tape. Circumstantial evidence was enough. Satoko! Guilty without trial. Capital punishment. I furiously jumped up from my seat, and I tripped as if my feet were tangled up. My shoelaces had been tied together. She's a genius. Not bad, Satoko. While I was sleeping, you were able to conceal your presence and able to pull off this final piece of work. The teacher came in right as I was about to pull off my shoes and tackle Satoko. Oh ho ho! Did you not notice that our teacher had arrived, Keiichi-san? Take your seat. Clomp clomp wish. Not caring one bit, I made her eat a flick to the forehead. Ha ha! Cry, bitch. Keiichi-san is being mean. Hey, don't pick on the younger kids, mate, Berkan. Apologize to her. That evil face. I saw Satoko stick her tongue out at me, that little brat. Come on, Maya Berkan. Yeah, I'll apologize. Sorry, Satoko-chan. In any case, I apologized, even if it was in the completely insincere tone of voice. Say one word, get a level. Hell yeah. Congrats on level 5. Damn her, I'll remember this. I shall avenge you. Kei-chan, get your revenge at the club meeting. Take your seat. I sat down after Mion told me she'd switched to the class representative mode. Yeah, basically that. What? What is the point in that? That was creepy, I'm gonna say. Yeah, I don't really know why there's 100 saves if it's just kinetic, like there's no choices. That's kind of weird. I'm saying that in Tyler Lopez's voice. Nah, I don't know who that is. With the boring classes finished, school was finally over for the day. Now then, what should we do for our club today? Personally, I would like to play that deduction game one more time. Oh, please, no. I was hardly able to play it last time because of Uishi-san. Reina and I weren't even able to test out our strategy. What, cheating? I guess that here in my garage Lamborghini. Nah, I don't know. That's right, today Keiichi-kun and I will be victorious. What should we do? We never played the same game 2 days in a row before. Why not try asking me? That just sounds weird, why did you say me? Mion looked over her shoulder. As we made eye contact, she slowly tapped her palm with her fist, and as her face suddenly lit up. Oops. I completely forgot. I need to go help my uncle today. Sorry guys, not today. Helping your uncle? Aren't you a little goody two-shoes? Sorry, really. I really did forget. Well then, sorry guys. This old man is heading back home now. Mion left us with that and rushed off to the exit after snatching up her bag. You see Mi-chan, she sometimes goes to help out her uncle's shop in town. I thought she wasn't the type to get caught up in such bothersome stuff.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit.
Yeah, I know that. I meant
I did not.
I meant the.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit.
Oh my god.
Hit her. I did not. I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit.
Keep sleeping. I meant the guy Magishi was on about. I know that. That's the voice. She said that she gets paid for it. It's quite a bit of spending money from what I hear. I see. She was able to pay for that mountain of games with what she saved up from her. But that, wouldn't you call that a part-time job? Isn't that against school policy? There's a clause that states family businesses are excluded. Is that what she's calling it? So what now? Pass on the club today?
Here in my garage, I just bought this new Lamborghini here. Fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. New Lamborghini here. But you know what I like a lot more than the new Lamborghini here? My TEDx talk where I talk about this
New Lamborghini here.
Oh no, it's just gonna get like really loud.
I'm proud of these 7 new Hollywood Hills that I had to get installed to hold 2,000 new Lamborghinis. Hollywood Hills. In fact, that it's a Lamborghini. Sleep.
Amazing. So we're done here today, I guess. Won't it be fun even without the club president? Let's do this. I opened up the club locker and began searching for the deduction game from that ever-growing pile of games. Here it is. Maybe it is like a cupboard, I guess. Here it is, the deduction game from yesterday. Man, I had to stop just as I was getting the hang of it. I keep thinking that it's like just like 5 people in the class, but there's like it's like 20 or something. I don't know what the hell they do the whole time. I wanted to repay Satoko for what she did during the morning or afternoon or whatever that word said. I do not mind, but it is that fine for Reina-san and Rika? If Keiichi-kun wants to so badly, I wouldn't mind playing for a bit. I think it's better if we do it when we have everyone together. Or when she says it like that. I wanted to go shopping if there wasn't a club meeting today. Going to buy some soy sauce and other things. Amazing. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot. Well, I guess since it's been a while, I should go treasure hunting. Oh god. What is this now? Everyone was no longer in the mood for club activities. If I kept on trying to push them at it, it may make them realise that I had a trick up my sleeve. Ah well, I give up this time. Man, I really was looking forward to playing it. I shuffled through the cards as if I was still caught up on it. At the next opportunity, I shall give you a sound thrashing. Oh, the murderer is Satoko. The murder weapon is a pistol. It was you after all. What did you say? Then I'll just... Satoko looked through the cards on the desk and stuck up 3 of them at me. The murderer is Keiichi, in the lounge with the rope. I don't need no rope. I'll just strangle you with this. No, Keiichi's had is such a beast. Oh god. Phew. Well, I guess it's good that I got out that of my system. Wow. I remember this Keiichi said. Alright, see you, Migish. I'm probably gonna stop up after this scene. There's nothing that's really happened for a while. We'll see though. She was used as a plaything for quite a while. How unfortunate. Good for you. Cute. Everyone got ready to go back home. I also helped gather up the scattered cards. I suddenly paused. They were just the suspect cards, but I noticed something strange. Reina, Satoko, Rika, Keiichi, Mion. Satoshi? Not all the cards were made by us. Or at least every card besides this one had the name of a club member. That name rings a bell, but I don't know if it's from this series. I'm gonna quickly Google it. Oh. Okay. Does this mean that this Satoshi fellow is a member? Yeah, don't Google it. Don't Google it yet. I remember that. Was there someone in this class named Satoshi? I couldn't find anyone named Satoshi in the class roster stuck up on the wall. He doesn't even know members of his own class. Wow. I guess he's new, isn't he? Keiichi-kun, let's hurry and finish cleaning up. Being rushed by Reina, I finished up quickly. Satoko and Rika-chan had already headed up merrily for their lockers, so we were the only ones left in the classroom. Right now, Reina had already gotten her bag and was ready to leave. Reina, there must be quite a few people who transferred from the school, right? I tried asking Reina a bit of a roundabout way. Reina made a troubled face and then answered. Yeah, Hinamazawa is a real time, right? Some people transferred out every now and then. This is Satoshi, another one of those transferees. So I don't really know. There was a bit of a pause, but her answer was pretty much immediate. I'm not saying it to be mean. Just last year I transferred in, so maybe I just missed him. So I didn't hear that much about him. Sorry. I'm not sure, sorry. Her answer was a lot like when she refused to tell me about the murder at the dam. I was saddened by her denial and felt a little bit of anger. I'm their friend, aren't I? Friends don't keep secrets from their friends, do they? Though I do appreciate that they kept their unsettling curse thing from me. But if everyone is worried about it, I'd rather be worried with them. That's what it meant to be friend, isn't it? For a moment I wondered just what kind of face I was making just then, with these mixed feelings of sadness and annoyance. Keiji-kun, you're making a scary face. Why is it? Why? It was probably exactly the kind of face Reina said it was. It appeared my grim expression had frightened her. Sorry. I was really looking forward to the club today. I just feeling down about it. I rustled Reina's hair. Let's go home. Dragging that awkward mood with us, we headed home. I wonder why. Why have I been getting this dumb feeling lately? I didn't know anything. I had nothing to worry about. I was just enjoying my everyday life. My long outstretched shadow gave no answer to my naive inquiry. Keiji-kun, are you tired maybe? Reina timidly asked the reason behind my mood. I'm sure my expression made the situation even more unsettling. You think so? Yeah, you seem to have been a little out of it this morning. Maybe a cold? Physically, I was pretty sure I was in perfect health. It may not seem like it, but I've had a perfect attendance since elementary school. Wow, what a nerd. Reina continued on since I didn't give her an answer. It could be that the fatigue from moving has finally caught up to you. It's completely different from where you used to live, after all. Of course, you've gotten tired since there's so much you need to get used to and remember. Maybe that's it. Yeah, it has to be. Reina was also like that at the first too. I can tell, you know. I wondered if Reina had also experienced a slight bit of alienation last year that I was feeling right now. Thinking so, I felt that she was the only one who could understand how I felt. I'd like to hear about when you first came to Hinamizawa. How was it? Feeling I had been drawn into the conversation, her face suddenly brightened. It was the same as Keiji-kun. I didn't know the villagers' names at all. Michan and the rest were very kind, so I wasn't lonely. But I still felt a little out of place. Reina told me all the details of when she had moved here. All of her first acquaintances and surprises, wise and good times. So Satogo got you too? Yeah, there was a thumbtack put on my chair. Poke. And then with that, that really takes me back. When were you invited to the club? The first day? Nah, there wasn't a club at the beginning. It was formed partway through. One day she said we should stay after and hold a big game tournament. Come to think of it, Mion did say that she was the first club president. Now I get it. This is a secret, but Michan used to be really bad at the beginning. She'd never win. Huh, Mion, really? I can't even imagine that. She had to do most of the penalties that she came up with. Seriously, don't tell. I can't believe Mion was like that. She'd gradually transformed into a monster who used any means necessary to win during that time. Mion is at her best when she's fighting dirty. I began making more friends beside Michan after that, but yeah, it might have been just since you moved here that I'd finally felt like I'd gotten used to it here. I guess Reina had also been left in the dark about Oroshiro's when she had first moved here. I guess when they finally told me about Oroshiro's, I'd be considered one of them. I wonder when I'll finally be considered one of them. Huh? Did you say something? No, sorry, just talking to myself. Keiji-kun, you're silly. Reina was poking fun and laughing at me, and I couldn't help but laugh as well. But I suddenly stopped. Then after making up my mind, I spoke. Hey, Reina, is there something that everybody's keeping from me? Huh? No, not at all. You're lying, aren't you? Reina suddenly stopped. Her expression was cold and intense. What do you mean by that, Keiji-kun? Her tone was still the same cheery and light-hearted one as before. You are, aren't you, keeping something from me? After understanding what I meant, her expression grew even more intense. Seeing that face, I regretted saying something so rash, but she came back at me in a way I didn't expect. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, I didn't expect that. I was waiting for like a full screen jump scare, but that was like even more scary because it's so subtle. Well then, Keiji-kun, aren't you keeping something from us? Huh? Her tone didn't change, but it was the first time I'd seen this expression from Reina. Yeah, I think you meant you arrived at the right time. Dad has been here the whole time. Yeah, you I mean, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't mean much to you if you haven't been watching the rest. But yeah, that it hasn't been like this at all. With how her gaze pierced through me, I couldn't believe this was the same Reina. Aren't you? Lies or secrets? Aren't you? You are. Secrets. She didn't actually say that part, but she looked as if she did. The incident with Tomitaki-san and how I felt alienated from the group. Even without having to think about it, there were things I knew I felt guilty about. But I didn't tell everyone about what happened with Tomitaki-san, to be considerate. I was keeping it a secret just the same way that he didn't tell me about Orishiro-sama. I'm sorry. Do I have quality options today? Oh, I don't. Let me refresh. I'm sorry. I don't have quality options. I was keeping it a secret just the same way they didn't tell me about Orishiro-sama. Then, aren't we even? No, I hate her eyes, Jesus Christ. No, I'm not. No lies. No secrets. Liar. Oh, that's her. Liar. Her answer was instant and it shook me. Reina stared as if burrowing through me, watching me like a hawk. Why would you say I'm lying? Didn't you say that you were called into the teacher's room yesterday during the club meeting, Keiji-kun? I know, you didn't go to the teacher's room. I swallowed hard. It clearly wasn't a bluff. She knew what happened. The teacher said you had a guest, didn't she? Spooky sounds. But you didn't talk at the entrance. You talked inside of the car near the school gate with some man we don't know. Reina knew everything. She knew that I was called out by Ushi-san and that I heard about the incident with Tomitaki-san as well. Did she know all of it? Exactly who was that man? I don't know him. Why did someone you don't know have business with you? I want to know that myself. Then why did you talk about it? It has nothing to do with you guys. It was a lie. Oh god. She's powering up. Lies! Reina's scream echoed through the trees, sending frightening birds into the air. I couldn't exhale the deep breath I had just taken. No, it was like I wasn't allowed to exhale. It was here I first realised. The person in front of me, she wasn't Reina Ryugu. Then who was it standing before me now? I'm terrified of like some jump scare I don't know about. Lolly, she's not a lolly. Come on, she's like 16. She's fine. She's not a lolly. The others are lollies. They're like that tall. Who had assumed Reina Ryugu's appearance? I had held my breath for so long I could feel myself suffocating. Right? And then she made her facial expression that Reina normally might have made. It didn't matter that it was Reina's usual smile. It chilled me to the bone. She drew closer to me. I felt her breath against my face. It wasn't the least bit exciting. Whoever this was with Reina's face was going to chew my nose right off. I cowered as I imagined that. Then she smirked as if she was able to see right through me. We also have secrets, just like how Keiji-kun has secrets. It was Reina's usual smile, but her eyes were still like that of a hawk's. Bringing her face close enough to mine to almost bump into my nose, she kindly persuaded me. Please don't do the eye thing. Oh, it's silent now. I'm scared. I couldn't nod or shake my head. This person standing in front of me, this person who looked like Reina, frightened me to the core. I was terrified knowing that she could hear the sound of me swallowing nervously. God, I've swallowed nervously too. After what felt like an eternity, after a long empty silence, she finally spoke. Let's go. It's getting chilly. It was Raina again. Smiling at me once more, she started walking as if nothing at all happened. When I released from her gaze, my legs gave out from under me and I slumped onto the ground. I wasn't able to lift a finger until Raina was out of sight. Who was that? I felt cold, my body was drenched in sweat. I was finally able to form a coherent thought and ask myself once again, who was that person? Who looked like Reina Ryugu? I think that's a perfect place to stop, to be honest. I was going to stop playing this anyway. I think I'll do something else for a while. I don't know if I have my mic on or not, but I'll continue streaming for a little while. Today's stuff ramped up a bit. What was that? Just over 2 hours? Yeah, that's a good place to stop. I did not know this was spoopy. I knew this was gruesome. Oh no, it all comes the same. Keep going. I just got okay. I'll go to like the next day. I don't want to keep talking constantly for too much longer. I was out of it and I couldn't bring myself to do anything until dinner except steadily blank into it. Was I terrified from Raina going off on me? No, that's not right. Oh, I think something might happen in this scene. Whatever. That was someone else who only looked like Raina. Then who could it have been? It was a dreadful feeling, knowing that was someone else, not Raina. So tomorrow I shouldn't have a problem talking to Raina like I usually do. So yeah, something happens at the house at some point. I don't remember when or what, but there isn't many scenes at the house, so this could be it. That thought was strangely comforting. I concluded that I should just calm down and clear my head. Though those thoughts continued swirling around my mind, finally I returned to my senses as I heard my mother calling out to me from the bottom of the steps. Keiichi, it's a call from the bookstore. Bookstore? Can't think of why they'd be calling me. I went downstairs and picked up the receiver anyway. My apologies for calling so late at night. It's me, Oishi from the Okinawa bookstore. Oishi-san. Oh, it's so Oishi-san. Sorry, since your parents picked us up, I said I was from the bookstore. It puts people off when I say I'm a police officer. Fair enough. Oishi-san was in his own way rather courteous. Even so, I didn't want my parents hearing me talk to the police. I brought the cordless phone with me as I dashed back up to my room on the second floor. Cordless phone for the 80s is pretty must have been pretty like advanced. We still use the bloody corded one, for God's sake. Sorry for calling so late. That phone number on the piece of paper I gave you yesterday was the old number. My apologies. Can you copy down the number I'm about to give you? Yeah, sure. He gave me the numbers from his direct line as I wrote it down. I thought that was the end of it, but he began making pointless small talk and it was pretty hard to hang up. So, how has it been, Mayabara-san? Did anything strange happen recently? No, my friend wanted to kill me though. I see, this was the real reason. He really beat around the bush there. His adult conversation skills left me slack-jawed. Are you from around here, Uishi-san? Yeah, I am. Born and raised in Okinawa. If he's from around here, he might know. Uishi-san, do you know what this Onikakushi thing is about? I believe that's when someone suddenly vanishes because they've been abducted by a demon. It's a special saying from around here. It has the same meaning as spirited away, like everyone else says. Whereas my friends would say they didn't know. Yeah, there's like river, like running water as well, isn't there? When I asked, this older man gave me a direct answer. It made me a bit happy that he answered me directly without trying to hide anything. He knew as I was not sure if I should tell you this, Maribaya-san. Don't try to play us off. If you're not going to talk, then I'm not going to tell you anything. No, that's not what I meant. It's just, it might make you feel bad. You see, long ago, Hinamaza was feared as the village where demons reside. No, the phrase Onikakushi is, what? Is like demon taking someone away, like basically someone just disappearing. But yeah, so a woman has apparently that's been happened, or she's been missing. So this is what they think has happened to her. But it's all just like spiritual bullshit. Demons. By demons, you mean those pitchfork carrying things in hell? More like human eating monsters. They'd go down to villages, snatching people up and gobbling them down. That kind of tale. Demons snatching up people is what this Onikakushi really means. They said that the curse and being demoned away happened together. What does that mean? I already knew about the mysterious deaths happening 5 years in a row, but I didn't know there were people disappearing for the same 5 years. And the curse and being demoned away happened together? First time I've heard of that. Is that how it is, Mayabara-san? That's what I want to know. I heard Reina and Mion talking. They said that it was really Oyashiro-sama's curse. Then both the curse and demoning away would happen. Oishi-san began hemming and hawing on the other end of the receiver. Maybe something about that came to mind. Mayabara-san, do you know the first incident? The murder by dismemberment? Yeah, one of the 6 perpetrators is still on the run, right? Hypothetically. What if he isn't on the run, but was deemed away? Huh? It was an outrageous hypothesis from Uishi-san. The incident 4 years ago was a particularly ghastly one. The police already knew the perpetrators, so they posted tons of wanted posters with his face on them. They staked out various locations and investigated every possible escape route he had. But after 4 years, there wasn't even a hint of where he might be. Unless the police were completely incompetent, even if it was an outrageous hypothesis, I couldn't simply laugh it off. Then what about the incident the next year, when the man who supported the project was his wife? Both died in an accident. Well, actually, it was only the husband who had died in an accident. His wife's body never surfaced. Unless we find the body, then it's considered a missing person by law. Yeah, it is. I don't really know how someone can just like pop into a visual novel halfway, or not even halfway through, but like in the middle of something. Because there's been so much. Like this is like 8 hours in probably, and you like watched it for like 5 minutes. It's weird, yeah. It's giving you, it's nothing too big's happened to yet. Well, a guy's died, but we don't really know like what's causing it. It's quite slow and a lot of build up, but it really does like make the atmosphere when something does happen. You're like, oh shit, like the Raina's eyes changing, like that was like, oh god, something's going down. At the time of the incidents, with the river below the cliff being muddy rapids, the police divers had searched every branch off the main stream of the river for dozens of miles, but in the end they weren't able to find her body. But that's just them not being able to find the body. She's still dead, right? Isn't it different from her being demoned away? We cannot say someone is dead without their body. Until a certain number of years pass, by law she's treated as still alive. I'm not sure if it was right to call that being demoned away. The waif is missing, and at least that part was reality. How about the 3rd year? The Shinto priest died of illness, and her wife committed suicide. Mayabara-san, that's actually the exact same scenario. The wife had supposedly thrown herself into the bottomless marsh deep in the forest around Hinamizawa. The meaning it's all circumstantial evidence. They simply found her suicide note in front of the marsh. A diver was able to recover a few remnants, but they weren't able to find a body. The investigative headquarters believed that she had faked her death and was still alive somewhere. I'm not sure if we could call these cases as being demoned away. It's just, as you've said, every year one person does go missing. The incident this year, the woman with Tomataki-san has gone missing. Then what about the incident with the housewife beaten to death? Who went missing? I believe the perpetrator was caught, right? Yeah, we arrested him. He was just a miscreant with a record of narcotic abuse. The marsh is supposedly a portal to hell. The bottom of it would be the entrance to where demons live. Yeah, maybe. He admitted to the crime while being questioned about a different incident. Well, you see, after he was arrested, a child from the victim's home went missing. It's still under investigation as to whether the disappearance had anything to do with the crime. But you said you caught him, right? Did he have an accomplice? No idea. It's considered a separate case. Moreover, we can't even check now because while under investigation, that man, he died in his holding cell. He swallowed a spork and choked to death. Wow, they shouldn't have used the word spork. That makes it instantly funny. Oh, did they? No, they didn't. Did they actually say a portal to hell? Huh. Let me go back and read that. I'm reading it out loud. I don't remember what I read. Oh, not like just now. You mean like ages ago? Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was like just said. Okay, thanks. I totally forgot about that. His follows were. It's not known whether it was an accident or suicide, meaning for the last 5 years there's always one person who dies and one who goes missing. That's about right. No, actually, I'm surprised as well. I never realized that they had that in common. I couldn't believe that this could help lead to the closing of those incidents. This is actually interesting though. It's I find it slightly different. Like with Corpse Party, I wanted to play the game, so I do this with like every game. I rush the text so I can play the game. This, it doesn't have any gameplay, it's just more text, so I'm either going to skip through all of it, or I'm going to read all of it, or you know, skip the bullshit parts. But you know, but with the Corpse Party, I just wanted to play the game, so I didn't care about like the text too much. If she did throw herself into it, that means the Onikakushi theory has legs, more than legs. It has a philosopher. God damn it. Okay, that's yeah. I mean, I do it with every game, like Call of Duty, or like I know that doesn't have a good story or anything, but you know, stuff like that. I don't care too much about the story. I just want to play the game. That's like why my favorite games are the ones that are stories, but they're like the story's the main part. Like the Telltale games, like Walking Dead is like it's like one of my favorite series, and that's because like the main thing is the story. You can't like ignore it to skip to the gameplay, because the gameplay is just like a little bit filler kind of stuff. It's just a little bit added. The story's the main part. 8 legs. Oh. Why did you just say 8 legs? It was something they had in common. You did remind me that my spider's still in my room. It hasn't moved for like 4 hours. Yeah, I don't know either. Obese knows more than us. Could it be that those demoned away have something in common? Orishi-san mumbled as he seemed to be thinking about it. So I summarised the events. The first year was the dam employee. Second year was, yeah, we've been over this. It was the victim's girlfriend. I guess it doesn't seem like there's anything that connects them. With the exception of the first year, wives and girlfriends, those do stand out. It does seem like there are a lot. That means the 4th year's victim's child was different. It would have really stood out if they were all married couples, except it's not just married couples, but parents and children as well. So it's like just someone like close to them. 8 legs for my stuff. What? Okay, well, come to think of it, I believe Tomitaki-san also told me the younger brother is alive and has moved, if I recall correctly. The child that went missing in the 4th year, who were they? Apparently he was quite mature, 1 year older than you. His name was Satoshi Hojo-san. Huh? Satoshi? I remember that name. I think that's I believe that's Satoko's sister. Is it Satoko Hojo? Satoko Hojo. Okay, yeah, Satoko Hojo. So it's her big brother, her Oni-chan. Didn't they tell me Satoshi transferred out last year? He was at your school up until last year. Didn't they tell you anything about him? Come to think of it, when I transferred in, I believe they said my seat belonged to a recent transfer student. Yes, I'm pretty you'll see why. I'm pretty sure they're related though. Hey, congrats on level 1. Yeah, I mean, shit already kind of went down, but it's gonna like go down like 10 times harder. That was just like kind of stuff that happened off screen, and then we're talking about shit that happens now. Stuff soon will happen. I've been saying that for like the last 5 hours, but if other people are saying it's around chapter 7, then we're close. So it's gonna be like half kind of tame and then half nuts, I think, because it's 12 chapters, or you know, mini chapters, whatever, within the game. Then where I sat once belonged to the one who was demoned away. It was his seat. I recall the cold sensation that came from that desk. It made my hair stand on end. Now he mentions it. It's gonna explode, yeah. The string of mysterious deaths, no Oyashiro-sama's curse, I knew how it connected to me. That chilling sensation, it was the feeling of Oyashiro-sama's caressing the back of my neck. Oyashiro-sama's curse, huh? Could Oyashiro-sama's curse really exist? In all honesty, I was beginning to believe it, and I was scared. That was why I wanted to say it was a plot crafted by a man and not the work of a curse. Oh, okay. No, I'm pretty sure. Like, I mean, after the murder, it's like it'll kind of all unfolds. I'm pretty sure, but there was a lot of build up for it. But the more I dug into it, the less likely that seemed. No, the more I dug, the more mysterious it became. If I kept digging, eventually I'd dig into my neck. Nah, I'd reach the point where I'd learn something I really shouldn't know. I'd either be none the wiser or to seek an answer I may regret. Which one would I be happier with? Maybe it'll be me next time. My execution could only be delayed for 1 year. That was when I remembered. Reina said that she may be the next victim of the curse. You mean Reina Ryugu-san? She transferred in last year and she's your classmate, isn't she? These incidents really might be a bit too disturbing for a girl. Wow, sexist. She's not just scared, is she? It wasn't that. She said it might be her next year. She said it was in a way that she made me think she had a concrete reason behind it. It felt like she was convinced, almost as if you could say she was frightened. Her sudden change in demeanor, that someone who looked like Reina but wasn't Reina. That might be unrelated. All the strange things that I felt from Reina today came back to me. I see. Then I'll be doing a bit of investigation on this end. Please continue your observations of Ryugu-san, Maribara-san. Are you asking me to keep Reina under surveillance? That's not what I mean. I just want you to watch out for your friend so she doesn't end up the next victim. At that moment, just as my mouth was agape because I was so impressed with his mature, clever way with words. Knock knock. Yeah. I was right. I think I'm right. A sudden knock at the door sent my heart racing. I'm kind of glad like there wasn't knocking like sound effects, so I would have pooped my pants a little. In an instant, I had pointlessly covered up the end of the receiver. Keiichi, get the door, please. On the other side of the door, I heard my father's oddly upbeat voice. I thought it was his mother. What could it be? It's so late. Sorry, my dad just came in. Can we leave it at this for tonight? God damn it, Alex. Yeah, my apologies again for calling so late. If you find out anything else, please let me know. I'll tell you if I make any progress on this end. Well then, have a pleasant evening. So you can see this, something might happen because I actually remember this. Keiichi, hurry up, open up. Daddy's got his hands full. That's weird. Why did he say that? What is Dad doing? I stayed in the same position while on the phone the whole time, so my joints were aching. Oh, it was a bamboozle. Oh, shit. When I opened the door, I saw my father was standing there with a tray. On that tray, cookies and 2 cups of black tea, a fairly fancy spread for our household. There was even sugar and lemon slices on the side, everything you could ask for. This was quite the show of hospitality. This might be like the reverse bamboozle. Daddy's full head. What's going on, Dad? What's all this for? Come on, don't play around, Keiichi. I'm coming in. Dad was in high spirits and had a smirk on his face. but for my entire life, I've never seen him act this hospitable. What had gotten into him? So, what are you talking about? I jumped. It's not something I had to keep from my father, but how could I explain it to him that I was talking to a detective? I'm assuming he was. This late at night. Nothing much, just a friend. I don't mean the phone. She was here, wasn't she? Reina-chan. That music. Oh my god. She wasn't here. Come now, don't try to keep it from me. She just came over to play. You two were chatting as way, so I thought I'd bring some tea. But looks like I just missed her. What the fuck? I had no idea what Dad was talking about, but a cold sweat dripped down my back. How long were we talking? Reina-chan went upstairs about half after, so it was close to an hour, I guess. You saw her come up to the second floor? Yeah, I did. I also told her that your room was a door down the hall up the stairs. Reina came to my house an hour ago. Dad met her at the door and called out to me on the second floor. I probably didn't hear him because I was too focused. I was too focused on my conversation with Uishi-san. I didn't reply, but he knew I was in my room, so he had her come inside. Then told me her room was on the second floor. Told her my room was on the second floor. She thanked my dad and went upstairs. Then about an hour passed. She passed by my dad just as he was bringing up tea and she left. She came upstairs about an hour past and passed by my dad and returned home. Then after she came upstairs and until she left, where was Reina? There's only a short hallway between my room and the stairs, meaning Reina had for about an hour in the hall. No, she couldn't have been standing there in the hall the whole time. The door to my room wasn't particularly thick. You could easily hear everything being said inside. All the ominous things and all the nonsense I had spoke to Uishi-san about began rushing through my head. Honey, don't tease him. More importantly, you need to clean up your studio. It's a mess again. Mom yelled up at Dad from downstairs. Dad left a tray with me and went downstairs with a disappointed Shoto. I followed my dad and out the room. With my eyes, I looked down at the floor around the doorway where Reina might have stood all that time. Just now, as I was talking to Uishi-san, with my back turned, Reina was standing a mere 6 feet away from me the whole time. All that time in this dimly lit hallway, what did she say? What did she hear? For what reason? As the steam from the 2 teacups ominously wafted and twisted, the aroma of black tea filled my room. I know that sentence, that was cool. This is getting spooky. I want to carry on. I have to leave it at like a cliffhanger, but I do want to carry on reading a little bit more. Oh, that was the end of a chapter. Should I leave it there and carry on tomorrow? Oh god, that achievement. I'm scared. Continue, okay. Notice from the police chief. You're just gonna say continue until like 8 o'clock in the morning, aren't you? One more chapter might be too much for me. Let's see how this one starts off. It might be back to normal bullshit. Just for a bit. Alright, shit goes down in the next chapter. Yeah. I don't want to like leave it in the middle of a chapter if shit's going down, that's the thing. Oh, it's auto. Let's just hope you're reading this. This has become a very serious situation to pick up. The following notice has been issued, not ensued. Designate the following criminal investigations as classified. Okinomiya Station 1982. Case number. Hinomazawa Village Housewife Murder, dated June. Okinomiya Station 1982. Case number. Hinomazawa Village Student Disappearance, dated June. 2. Non-disclosure of information. So it turns out from the what I did play the first day, that was literally just like about an episode, and then what's all happened here is about half an episode. But they did switch a few things around. No. Each chapter is a different day, pretty sure. So this is about a week in, I guess. I'll just save over these. I'm not gonna do end of chapter 8. I thought it was end of chapter 7. Okay. Oh boy, there's like 3 chapters left or something. Wait, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4. Weariness and a headache. Not a very nice way to start the day. I think I heard the last chapter's like really, really long though, so it's probably like 2 or 3 times longer. So I guess this is about 65% through. I guess 70%. I'm not sure. What's wrong, Keiichi? You don't look so well. When did you go to sleep? It seems like my mum had noticed my sudden state. Yesterday I kept on waking up in the middle of the night. Without a doubt, I felt a presence. I felt the presence of someone standing in front of my door. I told myself repeatedly that it was my imagination and forced myself to try and sleep. Except, not being able to stand it, I gathered up my courage and opened the door. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. I think I did this 3 times throughout the night, or maybe I just didn't remember doing it any more than that. Even though I was able to get... God, that must be horrifying. Jesus Christ. Even though I was able to get to the breakfast table without incident, I still didn't feel at ease. It might be a cold. I don't really have an appetite. Why, you do seem a little warm. Well, can you make it to school? Technically, I did go to a school, but it was mostly self-study. It wouldn't matter much if I missed a day, would it? It could have been that I hadn't been feeling well for the last few days because I really did have a cold. If I took some medicine and got a good day of rest, I might be able to greet someone with a smile tomorrow. Yeah. Startled, I looked back and forth between the entrance and the clock. It was 10 minutes later than when I usually met up with Reina. It was Reina. Reina-chan came to get you. What are you going to do? Are you going to take the day off? Reina was a good girl. She might be somewhat quirky, but she was certainly cute. Lunch, and she's absolutely terrifying as well. The lunches she made were delicious, and she always looked out for me. Why should I be so scared of something like that? It wasn't Reina's fault. It was probably mine. It had to be my cold. It just had to be. I'll rest, sorry. Then I'll go send her off for you. Mom headed off for the door. You're gonna piss Reina off. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Somewhat quirky, yeah. I have to pass by the entrance to get back to my room. I didn't have the nerve to meet with Reina, so I wrapped myself in a blanket on the sofa and closed my eyes. I was so sleep deprived that I quickly fell into a deep sleep. See, I was sure something was supposed to happen, like last night. And I think what happened was that they showed it differently, like they did at the start. They only like kind of had a black screen and they were describing something, but in the anime they just like show exactly what was happening. I think that's what happened, because I'm sure I remember Reina like coming to the door, so I guess they showed that, but they didn't show it from Keiichi's point of view, therefore our point of view for this, so you don't actually know. I'm not sure, maybe that happens on a different day. I had only intended to lie down for a bit, but it was almost noon when I woke up. I called out to my parents, but they didn't seem to be around. On the table, I found lunch prepared and a note. Mum and Dad had apparently driven off to somewhere far away. It likely had to do with Dad's work. This happened every so often, so it wasn't that unusual. They would probably be back sometime after dinner. On a note, it said, the insurance card is in the cabinet, take it and go to the hospital. Yeah, but it's in the middle of the day. Nothing will happen, right? There was also a well-drawn map to the hospital. That's right, I hadn't been there before, so I knew exactly where it was. So I didn't know exactly where it was. I was like, what? I had a light lunch, although it really was just leftovers from the morning, and just in case, went to the hospital. Call Macaulay Culkin, we need his services. Normally, I'd never been here. In the middle of a weekday, just walking around like this had me feeling guilty. It was an odd feeling. I don't like how calm this atmosphere is. It doesn't even feel like eerily calm. It seems quite pleasant. Following my mum's map, I took a road I usually never use. This is weird, like walking to the hospital yourself using a map. That's kind of weird. I took a road I usually never used. After walking for a bit, the hospital sign came into view, and there was Tomitaki-san. Oh god, imagine that happened. Erie Clinic was written rather stylishly on the sign. The clinic wasn't very big, but based on the scale of the rest of Hinamizawa, it was far too grand. I don't remember this at all. There was a parking lot and even a reserved spot for buses. They must be making a mint. She was. Was it at this specific one? Yeah, because she was at. Yeah, she lives in Hinamizawa. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I spaced out in the air-conditioned waiting room until it was my turn to be seen. Maribara-san, please make your way to the examination room. Yes. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. After properly answering all of the chatty doctor's questions, he responded with the old, "It's probably a cold." They gave me a shot and 3 days worth of medicine. I thought it was a little overboard, but if it would clear away the gloomy feeling I've been having lately, then it was worth it. I settled the bill and took a quick trip. Oh yeah, no healthcare. Do they have healthcare in Japan? I guess not, if they've had to settle a bill. I took a quick trip to the washroom. As I was leaving, I overheard a conversation between some elderly people who seemed to be regulars at the clinic. I feel bad, man. Of course, I had no intention of eavesdropping. If it just wasn't for that word, must have been an Onikakushi. I wonder. She was still pretty young. Might have just eloped? With whom? That man from Tokyo who visits every season. That young one with the big camera. Didn't you know they were getting along pretty well? Were they talking about Tomitaki-san? I could feel my ears perking up. I don't know about that, but you have to make preparations before you elope. Leave a note or quit their job or something. It's an elopement because they didn't leave a note or message. Yeah, that's true. The thought that I'll never see that young nurse's face again makes me rather sad. Takano-san is an upstanding young woman. Should be fine wherever she goes. So her name was Takano-san. That woman with Tomitaki-san? And she worked at this clinic. Ayashiro-sama's shadow was following me everywhere I go. Yeah, so I guess reading those tips do actually help. I mean, I guess. I don't think it's super necessary. It just gives you like a little bit of help before. I don't know if any of it's going to be required. Ayashiro-sama's shadow was following me everywhere I went. I started listening more closely, but then they began talking about fishing, and it didn't seem like they were going to revisit the topic. I gave up and left. Thus, even though I was separated from the daily monotony of school, I wasn't able to escape from Ayashiro-sama's shadow. But of course, Ayashiro-sama was the guardian deity of this place, of Hinamizawa. As long as I was in Hinamizawa, I wouldn't be able to escape. That was like slightly eerie. Oh, he said that. Maybe it was because I was walking outside, but my appetite has suddenly returned. I might as well buy a snack with the change from the examination fee on the way home. Contemplating that, I turned onto a familiar street. Does that count as a street? It's like a crappy road. At that moment, I heard a car horn abruptly honk behind me. Was I really walking so far into the middle of the road while I'd been in the car's way? I moved further over to the side, but the horn was still honking at me. I turned around with a word I missed. Peeved. It's a street in this water, I guess so. I mean, it's like a village though. Maribara-san, good day to you. It was Rishi-san. He stepped out of his car, AC on full blast, and waved at me. What's up today? School on break? Just not feeling well, so I took the day off. I was about to buy lunch and head back home. That's great. I just about to get lunch myself. Would you mind going together? If you're not feeling up for it, then don't mind me. I was just going to lie down after I got home anyway, and I didn't really have a cold. I doubt you want to eat at one of these local places. Let's go into town. It's a bit of a drive, is that alright? I know a pretty good place. I finally began to understand Uishi-san's roundabout way of saying things. He probably wanted to talk to me about stuff that would be difficult to discuss while in Hinamizawa. I feel like it's going to be pretty normal for a while. I went with Uishi-san riding in his frigid car. I'm going to stop like at the end of the day regardless of what happens. It was almost as if the bright sunlight outside was a lie. I'm sorry about calling you so late last night. Did your parents get angry at you? No. I recalled Raina, who had been listening to the phone conversation all that time, separated me by just a door. Even now, in the brightness of the sunlight, the thought still creeped me out. That was weird. The menu moved. That's such a weird way of doing it. BRB Tesco. That's fine, dude. It's like 11:30 at night, Jesus Christ. With a big bump that jolted the car, the road connecting to the city changed from dirt to pavement. My head swiveled back with a sudden realization. That's right, this was where Tomitaki-san died. They've hit a snag on the investigation regarding Tomitaki-san. Uishi-san spoke while peering at me from the corner of his eye. They believed it was caused by hallucinogens, given how he was clawing out his own throat, but a drug that could cause that to happen so suddenly is extremely hard to come by. Bear in mind, of course, the autopsy was done with that premise in mind, but we didn't find any leads. You know that thing you see in comics all the time, where there's a drug that if you put it in them, it doesn't leave any traces? It exists. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that. Well, it's pretty common. But you see, there doesn't seem to be any kind of drug that would cause Tomitaki-san to react like that. Then you're saying the police concluded Tomitaki-san just died from the curse? I couldn't help but feel that the police were worthless. I just wanted the idea of a curse to be disassociated with Tomitaki-san's mysterious death. Unfortunately, that's how it looks right now. But putting aside the cause of death, without a doubt, he was surrounded by a group of people and had taken a beating before he died. That was no curse, but an incident that unquestionably involved other humans. Yeah, the first thing that came to mind when the dude was a bad trip. There was something in like Africa where it was like bath salts or something, and like they were like almost zombies. Like they would like literally they turned them into cannibals. I'm pretty sure that happened like 5-7 years ago or something. I remember it on Yogpod. And they're just... Yeah, that's crazy. That was no curse, but an incident that unquestionably involved other humans. That made me a bit relieved. We passed in front of the rather desolate but still busier than Hinamizawa train station. The car pulled into a restaurant parking lot and I followed Uishi-san into the shop. Yeah, don't do drugs without your adult's permission. Or adult supervision. It was a pretty crowded, but there were only adults this hour. I remember this scene. Of course, they wouldn't be children in here in the middle of the weekend. This was like part of the anime. I was watching it, I'm like, yeah, I don't get this, and I stopped watching. This was the scene. I was like, oh, that's too much chat. Of course, there wouldn't be children in here in the middle of a weekday. 2 please, non-smoking. This way, please. When you are ready to order, please call me over. Oh yeah, smoking in restaurants in 1980s. I forgot that was a thing. We were led by a peculiarly dressed waitress to our table. I sat with Uishi-san in the booth. So what do you think? Aren't the waitress's outfits so cute? Huh? Well, I guess. This shop is always quite busy. It's more about the waitresses than the food, you see. What a guy. Uishi-san, you're leering. Am I really? Mwahaha. Regardless of how their waitresses looked, the food was decent enough. Finishing our meals, they went to a maid cafe. Oh my god. Finishing our meals while talking about some inane topic, Oishi-san's after-meal cup of coffee arrived at the table. Level 22. Good job, dude. Poor lad, top lad. Yo, mama, super thick. Yesterday we talked about Hinamizawa's past, didn't we? Yeah, that it was the village of man-eating demons or something like that. I didn't know much about it myself, so I asked my grandmother about it this morning. Yoshi-san took out the notepad that was stuffed into his breast pocket. Turns out that Hinamizawa used to be called Onikakushi or Ogre's Abyss. Onikakushi, that's quite the name. Okay, that's quite the name. The name is still around. The marsh where the Shinto's priest's wife drowns herself is still called Ogre's Abyss. He said that the depths of that marsh connected to the realm of demons. Oh yeah, so they just like repeated it. I did need your help, Dada. Of course, nobody had told me anything about such an ominous marsh. And you see, it appears that they were both feared and revered, a respect born of fear. I guess you could say it was a kind of defecation. A village of inhuman creatures. CMG, yeah, good job, dude. Seems the demons were Senin or mountain-dwelling mystics of sorts. Taking villagers with incurable illnesses into the Ogre's Abyss and healing them, for example. Even if we are calling them demons, Tengu, long-nosed goblins, or Senin would be a more apt description. I assume that means accurate. They don't seem like such terrible people, even though they were called demons. Yeah, I think so. That's why he's insane. But they were still man-eating demons. According to the story my grandmother told me, as payment for the treating the son's illness, let us eat the mother who brought him here. It was apparently how things went. The price of curing her son was herself. That's unsettling. Of course the mother took her son and ran. Then you see, all the people who lived in Onikakushi, the demons chased them down, rounded them up and captured them. The entire village, apparently. That's quite a frightening thing to imagine. That's spooky as hell. In the end, it seems both the mother and son were caught and eaten. The end. There's a problem with this story. Both witnesses in the story were eaten, so nobody would be able to tell the tale. Huh? There are plenty of old fables like this. In contrast to the ghastly tale, Oishi-san laughed heartily while sipping his coffee. But well, there are quite a few other tales, where the demons from Onikakushi band together to capture their prey. I recall that Mion said all the villagers united and fought against dam construction. I saw similarities with how that part about the unification overlapped. Normally they hunted down a single person and they chose who it was going to be beforehand. Huh? That caught my attention. Oishi-san also appeared to be pondering what it meant. My grandmother told me that you must never interfere with the demon's hunt. You should just hole up in your house and hide under the covers, she said. So what does this all mean? It means you mustn't ever help or protect the prey. As long as you don't disturb the demon's hunt, no harm will fall upon the villagers. It seems that's kind of a rule. Basically, don't help the victims. Pretend you didn't see the atrocities, in other words. What happens if you break the rule? Well, they're man-eating demons after all. Many parts of that tale caught my attention. Parts of the story he told me overlapped with this theory that the perpetrators were all the village families. Even if it wasn't the whole village, it was conceivable that the villagers were hiding under the covers and leaving them to die, when there's a group that was on their hunt, wasn't it? I didn't dare speak it. Then, Oishi-san, I guess it looks like it's either the village families or a group of villagers perpetrating the crimes. What do you think, Maribara-san? Excuse me. Another cup of coffee, please. That's what I wanted to know. It seemed that we were both waiting for the other to say the last part. I waited for the waitress. Last year, I had a nagging feeling when Satoshi-kun disappeared. Oishi-san muttered as he watched the milk swirl around in his coffee. So, yeah, coffee. I don't know why I misread that. So those friends of Satoshi-san, meaning your group of friends, Maribara-san. I had a bit, really, just a little bit. Oh, of background checking done on that. Okay, I was like, that's not a full sentence. If Oishi-san had said this to me before, I would have been furious. Since he's told me this earlier not to suspect my friends, but as I was now, I couldn't. This might sound pretty stupid, Maribara-san, but if you feel that it's stupid, please say so. I'll just stop. Oishi-san was wearing the most serious expression I've ever seen on him, or from him. It was as if he was telling me to prepare myself and listen. There were quite a few things I regretted hearing from Oishi-san, but none of them were as threatening as this. A little voice inside me was screaming like an alarm. Stop, Keiichi, this was probably the last one. I took a deep breath and silenced that voice. I would not run from the truth. Please. That was all I could utter. Oishi-san stared into my eyes silently for a few moments. After he was certain I was ready, he began. The victim of the incident in the first year was the overseer. A few weeks prior, he had an altercation with Mion Sonozaki-san. What's altercation? I think I missed the point of this. Altercation. A noisy argument or disagreement. Okay. Yeah, with Mion's multiple altercations. Oishi-san had said before that Mion had defied the dam project vehemently. Well, it wasn't hard to imagine how she'd be if she got worked up. In the second year, the married couple who supported the project died in that accident, right? They had a daughter. Her name is Satoko Higuchi-san. No, not really a ritual. In the second year, the married couple who supported the project died in the same. They had a daughter. Satoko, meaning Satoko? Oishi-san's look told me that my voice was too loud. I realized it as well and quickly quieted down. The Shinto priest and his wife who died in the third year, you see, their daughter is Rika Furude-san. Rika-chan was the housewife who died in the fourth year. You already know, don't you? It was the step-aunt of Satoko Higuchi-san. She was in her aunt and her uncle's custody as she had lost both of her parents in the accident. What do you mean you're right? What were you right about? She lost both her parents in the accident. She lived in the victim's house. I could tell my lips were getting dry. I didn't even have the wits to keep my mouth from hanging agape. Yeah, no. I realized that when they had the same surname or whatever. I thought it was nothing but a bizarre incident, one that I could easily distance myself from, but clicking and clacking, it had snuck all the way to my feet. The one who disappeared the fourth year, by the way, he was Satoko-san's older brother. Yeah, I realised that. It took everything I had to funny say that. I gulped down a glass of water and once again wiped my face with a napkin. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. But Oishi-san was relentless. Instead of waiting for me to finish and sorting out my feelings, he started speaking again. The last of things I shouldn't have heard. All of the victims seem to be connected to your group of friends. That has to just be a coincidence. Maribara-san, keep it down. Everyone's looking. Mion, Satoko, Rika-chan. So what if they're connected? You're telling me all of my friends. It couldn't be. It just couldn't be. Oh, Reina's different, isn't she? Oh, they didn't mention Reina. Reina isn't connected with the victims at all. Reina Yugi-san was living in a suburb of Ibaraki Prefecture up until last year. Well, it's true she hadn't directly met any of the victims. He said it in a roundabout way. Is he saying that she's also connected? Actually, I looked into her. Before Ryugi-san moved away to Hinamazawa, she was suspended from school. It seems she went through her school and buildings and broke all of the windows. Reina did that. She broke all the windows at her school. That same silly Reina had. it seems that after her 3-day suspension, she didn't only 3 days for breaking all the windows. That's like exclusion instantly. She didn't return to school. She went to a neurologist and was diagnosed with dysortum. I don't know what that is. Dysautonomia. I either spelled it wrong or it's not a real thing. Dysautonomia. I think I spelled it wrong. Dysautonomia. Refers to this sort of autonomic nervous system function that generally involves failure of the sympathetic or parasympathetic components of the ANS, but that's a lot of words. Nah, I did spell it right, it just didn't come up. Yeah, so she can't feel sympathy. Failure of the sympathetic or parasympathetic components of the ANS. Alright. Detective Dada is on the case. She was given weeks of counselling and medication. I wonder if it was something like a nervous breakdown. I'd heard that it happens to people who are really methodical or overly sensitive. Neither of those match Raina's easygoing personality. And in the counsellor's medical report, he recorded all of the conversations he had with Raina-san. It shows up, and quite a bit at that. What did? I pressed forward carelessly. There couldn't be anything more for me to regret. She mentioned the word Oyashiro-sama. This may affect the function of the heart, bladder, intestine, sweat glands, although it may cause not at all. I'm just gonna say she had a nervous breakdown. That's how I'm gonna understand it as. It felt like someone's stone cold hand was caressing my back. Why had Reina have spoken of Oyashiro-sama before she even came to Hinamizawa? Yeah. Okay. Seems that the Oyashiro-sama she spoke of was like a ghost appearing in her house every night, standing over her pillow, looking down at her. That's terrifying. My mind froze. I couldn't process what I was being told. A while after that, she moved to Hinamizawa. Ah, that's right. She's not an outsider. According to their residency register, the Ryugu family used to reside in Hinamizawa. Reina-san moved to Ibaraki right after she finished elementary school. My mind went completely blank. It was similar to the static you see on a blank TV channel. My ears began ringing as I lost all sense of comprehension. Maribara-san, are you alright? Shall we stop? This is where, if it was really a self-insert, I'd say, get the fuck out of there, help me, yeah. Should we stop? Those words brought me back. I couldn't let it end here. Now I understand Reina. Then how about the last victim, Tomitaki-san? Who was he connected with? Irritated, I let out one final reprisal. All of them. Have you forgotten, Maribara-san? Didn't you all spend the night of the festival together quite merrily? Quite a few of the officers saw you enjoying yourselves. Now there was nothing I could respond with. I fell silent as my brain turned to mush. We should get going. Maribara-san, did you take your afternoon medicine? I completely forgotten about the medicine I had gotten today until Uishi-san said that. I got another glass of water and we left the shop after I chugged it down. We got in the car and returned to Hinamizawa through the rough road. I never really paid attention when I was on my bike, but did cars normally shake this much? It was almost as if the road was desperately trying to tell me something. That big jolt was the difference in the elevation of the road when it changed from cement to dirt. It was certainly that I heard Tomitaki-san scream. I sat in silence, just letting myself be shaken by the car. I'll drop you off at your house. You missed school because you were ill, correct? My apologies for the long conversation. Why did you talk to me? I blurted out the question. Really just blurted it out. I didn't expect an answer. I did check with you first, didn't I? If we should just stop? Not that. Why did you reach out to me? I understood quite well that Urishi-san was investigating a string of suspicious incidents, but why was he telling me all this? I knew nothing and I couldn't help. Everything Urishi-san spoke of was news to me. First of all, what could I have just moved here? No. By chance, if there was a reason for Urishi-san to reach out to me, then it would have to be me. That I looked suspicious to Urishi-san and I was part of Mion's circle of friends. Don't go about there. Don't go about what? In the car? Or in the village? Oh yeah. I'm retiring this year. I plan on moving away after retiring as my grandma wants. So while I'm still on the case, I want to bring the truth behind this incident to light. So Ishi-san, you suspect them, don't you? Yeah. All of them. Ishi-san didn't really give a response. It felt a little late, but I thought it was his way of showing a bit of consideration for my feelings. This is mostly my intuition from 30 years on the job, my son. You're the one in danger. Huh? I wanted to reply with, that was absurd, but in my downtrodden state I couldn't bring myself to say it. I'll be retiring this year, so I won't be at the Watanagashi next year, so I want to settle things. In other words, he was insinuating that on the next Watanagashi, I would be the victim. I've been warned by the chief as well. So it's like, what, a year after they joined the village? Like, Reino's been there a year, and she thinks she's the victim. And then next year it'll be me, after I've been spent a year there. I've been warned by the chief as well. Each incident in the string of cases has been solved, so don't bring it up again, or so I was told. This is the pressure that I'm facing. Pressure from what? Someone in Hinamizawa. We arrived. Is this fine? Someone. After some time, the car finally reached the path to my house. The clock read 2 PM. I was surprised so little time had passed since we ate. It was hot outside the car. The chirping of the Higurashi hurt my ears. I won't mind if you just forgot everything I told you today, but I'm still going to keep investigating. I'll end Oyashiro-sama's curse this year. So you're saying I should contact you if anything happens? It's fine. Just contact me whenever you feel you have to, Maibara-san. I wasn't collected enough to understand Oishi-san's roundabout way of saying it. Be sure to take it easy. I'm sorry for throwing all this at you while you're taking the day off because you're sick. I didn't really give any sort of responsibility. I'll always be on your side. If anything, believe that. Believe it. I'll be off now. That's the narrative thing, isn't it? I only know it from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sorry. The tires crunched over the dirt road as the car made a U-turn and disappeared a cloud of kicked up dust. It felt like I was watching a boat only throw me a lifesaver in shark-infested waters before disappearing into the distance. I'll come back at these. That was the first time I thought Oishi-san was being unfair. He missed like everything in the first 7 chapters as well, or like 6 chapters. But yeah, telling me I was going to be the next victim, then just saying to contact him if something happened. This wasn't a criminal investigation. He was fishing, and I was just a bait dangling off the line. Would the fish be the perpetrator, or was it really just Oyashiro-sama's curse? Either way, the bait would be swallowed whole. Damn it, I don't want to die. For some time, I could do nothing but stare at the puddle of water left behind by the AC of my car. Is that the end of the day? If it is, I'm gonna stop this game here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish off the other 1, 2, 3 chapters tomorrow because apparently the last one's really long, and I'm sure there's like 2 episodes worth of stuff to happen still. Is this what's this? If this is the evening, I guess I could finish the end of the day. I wonder how much time had passed since I laid down. It was getting dark outside. My body was soaked in sweat. It would probably be a good idea to change my sheets. At that moment, the phone downstairs rang. It was probably Mum. Mum was quite the worrywart. Maybe she had called me so many times I just didn't notice it. Hello, this is the Maribara residence. Oh, he's alive. Hello, this is Mion. How are you doing? Is this one of Keiichi's friends? Keiichi is resting now, but should I put him on? Huh? Is this his dad? Aha, sorry. Idiot, you fell for... No, not understanding this line of dialogue, whatever. After exchange, we both had a good laugh together, except I was suspicious of her even as we were laughing. Was everybody really involved in the incidents? The fact that I couldn't say no saddened me. I'm relieved that you seem well. Reina was really worried, you know. Satoko-chan was happy and said you got what you deserved. Classic Satoko. Rika-chan said how unfortunate he's sick. Looks like everyone was making a big deal out of it. Well, you know, so Kei-chan, is now a bad time to come pay you a visit? A visit? No, it's okay. It's not like I'm dying. My grandma made me a ton of mochi, you see. I was told to share them, so I'll bring you some. Hey now, you'll catch my cold. Not to worry, both Reina and I are too stupid to catch a cold. See, be there in a bit. She hung up cheerfully. Reina's... Oh no. Reina's coming too? That's what it sounded like. Well, oh, maybe this is why I was... It doesn't seem ominous enough. I was still concerned about meeting Reina, but I guess if she was with Mion... Ding dong. I heard the doorbell 10 minutes later. Howdy there. How are you feeling? Did you take your medicine and rest? I just did that. Oh, thank goodness you look well. I was worried. Sorry, I'll be fine by tomorrow. Mion showed a complete lack of concern for someone who'd recovered, and Reina looked like she was worried about me from the bottom of her heart. One pins it down, the other rips his rips his guys out. Yeah, you've missed everything. Yeah, I don't think Ubis is following this too well. It didn't look like they were anything behind those expressions. I thought we might hang out for a bit, but it looks like you're not quite in the condition for it. You don't say. It seemed like my face appeared a bit sullen. Then here, Keiichi-kun, these are the mochi Mi-chan's grandma made. Reina held out the package wrapped in newspaper. Daddy's full hands. There might be about 5 in here. It was quite hefty. Thanks. Send 2 guys to your grandmother, Mion. Yep, and there's one that I made in there as well. Wonder if Keiichi-kun can guess which one it is. I totally didn't poison it. This is Kei-chan's homework since he missed the club meeting today. There are letters on each mochi, so I'll ask you tomorrow. Were you checking it if I was feeling better, or did you just come here for the club activities? Yep, looking fine. Guess you'll be able to make it tomorrow. Man, what are you going to do if my fever comes up back because of your shenanigans? Mi-chan, we shouldn't be making such a racket. Let's go. The other people here will get angry. Both of them thought my parents were home. It was because the entranceway was a mess. You're right, let's get going. By the way, Kei-chan. Yeah? Those eyes are scary. Oh god. Oh god. What did you eat for lunch? The sudden question startled me as I went wide-eyed when I saw Mion. I had never seen her like that. It was a highly unsettling visage. But why is she asking me about what I ate for lunch? What she said was so inane, it was almost meaningless. The way she said it, it was almost like she didn't even care about what I ate. I ate out. She must have suspected that I was with Oishi-san. However, I felt that if I hesitated or tried to change the subject, that they'd be too deep into it, so I tried answering as quickly as possible. Except, contrary to the efforts I had made, there was a pause before they replied. Oh, she's like it now too. So you ate out for lunch, Keiichi-kun? The glimmer from Reina's eyes had changed at some point as well. It was now sharp, as if to make me feel the feigned ignorance behind her words even more. As if she already knew that's how it looked to me. Well, was it good? Why are you asking me this? Mion was speaking in an unusually low tone. almost as if she knew that I'd eaten at the restaurant in town. No, I'm overthinking this. I mean, both of them should know I've been in school. I should have been in school at lunchtime. There was no way they could know where I was. Seems like you were with a rather austere. I'm going to Google austere. It means severe or strict in manner, attitude, or appearance. Yeah, no, the eyes is all you need. Seems like you were with a rather austere-looking older guy. Who was he? The package with the mochios holding slipped out of my hands. I could tell the blood had drained from my face, making me go pale. Oh, Keiji-kan. Who was it? Could it be the person from before, I wonder? I could feel the back of my throat going dry. Same, to be honest. What's the fact they're looking straight at the screen? Yeah, slightly worrying. This was no longer a bluff. They knew everything. How do you know? How do you know that? It took everything I had to finally force those words from my throat. My knees were shaking. Because there's nothing this old man doesn't know. Mion sneered knowingly, and her laugh seemed to carry on forever. Hey, congrats to level 2. So, Kei-chan, what did you talk about? It seems like you got pretty worked up over it too. We weren't talking about you guys. It didn't have anything to do with you or Reina. Oh God. Is it a bit strange to hear our names come up even though nobody asked us about it? Yeah, I just noticed that. Reina's unwavering gaze pierced through my eyes and pierced further inside me. I dug my own grave. My heart was throbbing so much it felt like it was going to explode. Well, whatever you're trying to hide, this old man already sees through it all. Remember that. That's terrifying. Yeah, that was like really bad line. I couldn't even shake my head, but he's like shitting his pants. Like FIFA or OWC. It took, yeah, because he's going to be playing those, isn't he? It took everything I had to stop my teeth from chattering. She never let her gaze break from mine, even as she tilted her head slightly. Keiji-kan, you don't look so good. I think you should lie down. That's true, we should both head back home. What the hell? Her outline changed. She spoke back her. As if nothing had ever happened, they both giggled at each other and started making their way out. I hadn't moved a muscle since I dropped the package of mochi. As they left, the door slowly closed behind them. All I could do was stare, as if I couldn't move until the door was completely closed. Oh God. Just as the door was just about closed, it opened again slightly with a sudden creak, sending my heart racing once again. Here it is. A single eye peered in through that narrow slit, and Mion's hawkish gaze pierced at me once again. Ah. See you, Kei-chan. I've seen some, I've looked into the CG folder. I was expecting something. I'd hate it if you missed school tomorrow, right? Thud. The door closed. I wasn't able to move a muscle even after their low laughter died off into the distance and silence again once enveloped the room. Coming back to my senses, the first thing I did was lock the door. They knew what Urishi-san and I talked about. Why? How? No, that wasn't important. Thinking about it now, all of it could have been overheard from the beginning when Urishi-san met me. Just as Mion said, I couldn't hide anything. Then what were they trying to tell me? That part was obvious. They were warning me not to say anything unnecessary. What did they deem unnecessary? I only talked about Urishi-san about one thing, and they were warning me that that was unnecessary? What was it that Urishi-san talked to me about? The incidents involving Urishi-sama's curse that occurred every year weren't individual cases, but were connected as a whole, as well as the fact that there may be multiple perpetrators hidden within Hinamizawa. No, more precisely, that Mion, Reina, Satoko, or Rika-chan were all suspicious. Is that what they were warning me against? What kind of nonsense am I thinking about? I hit my own face hard enough that it let out a large slap. If only that would make me wake me from this nightmare, but for some reason it felt like I was punching a blanket. It was almost laughably painless. Calm down, Keiji Maibara. When did I become such a pessimist? Calm down, calm down. Settle down and sort things out. The reason Mion knew I was eating lunch with Urishi-san was probably because somebody from Hinamazawa just happened to be there at the time. They must have told Mion that I was there. That made the most sense. Plus, come to think of it, she didn't ask me where I ate lunch, did she? She only asked, was it good? They were just curious since I was together with someone not from Hinamazawa. It's not as if they had any ulterior motives. That's it. That just had to be. Thinking about it that way, it was the same with Reina. Oops. It was the same with Reina. I was just being strangely ambiguous about whether I met with Urishi-san and Reina was just corrected me on that. That's when I was bewildered by the change in character from the usual mild manner of Reina and was startled by it. That's the most natural way of thinking about it. Self-insert MC is just stupid. It was stupid, but it's understandable. Like, he's just shit scared. It's easy to mess up. I sympathize with him 100%. It felt like my mind was mixed up like a tangled mess of spaghetti. Deep red marinara sauce would have poured out on my nose and ears if you squeezed my head. Thinking that, I suddenly felt like vomiting. I really didn't want that to happen, so I stopped holding my head. Lately, I had no idea what anyone was saying. Spending time with them was fun. It didn't feel like there was any sort of hidden agenda. I really do think they're a good bunch of people. When I just moved here and couldn't make heads or tails of anything, they were really kind to me. Reina was really kind and always looked after me. As long as there was a strange affliction that didn't rear its ugly head, she was really pretty cute. Mion is also a really good person. She didn't care about anyone's age or gender and was optimistic and outgoing. Also known as blood, I guess so. I was never bored when I was with her. Congrats to level 16, Alex. And talking of not getting bored, rambunctious Satoko was a good person for that too. She was pretty bratty, but that was just the way she interacted with others. Rika-chan was the same way. She didn't speak often, but that didn't mean she was always silent. They're my friends. But after hearing of the better untold secrets of Hinamazawa from Urishi-san and Tomitaki-san, when I was told about Oyashiro-sama's curse, things started going crazy. Then hearing from Urishi-san that Mion, Reina, Satoko and Rika-chan were all suspicious, after that everyone changed. Slowly but surely. Yeah, you are. That's right, it all started getting weird after Urishi-san told me all that strange stuff. All that time, I really should have just not listened to those weird stories, and even I shouldn't have heard about the past incidents from Tomitaki-san the night of the Watanagashi. If I just hadn't gotten that strange sense of curiosity, if I just hadn't, that's right. So that's why they. What? What? I don't get that. What word are they covering up? What? Are they just like leaving it up to your interpretation? That impotent outsider speaking to the likes of me after everyone went out of their way to keep it a secret from me. I mean, it's not fucked, is it? Sleeping soon. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, I guess you are. They probably. Well, I don't know. No, that. I don't know. That still seems kind of weird. No, but because he knows, doesn't he? Besides that, he was unforgivable for spewing words that made me doubt the others. Of course, a girl like that is going to be. I don't know. It seems weird because I thought he was told by the police guy, Urishi-san. Both Tomitaki-san and Urishi-san were nothing but outsiders after all. They were entities who couldn't coexist with the people of Hinamizawa. Those guys should just fall into Oishiro-sama's curse and just die, I guess. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't my... It was my fault for not being able to hold back my curiosity. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault. Oh yeah, that's true. I settled into a daze. It was a lethargic feeling, like I had just gotten up, but the ominous chill that haunted me had subsided. I was fine now. I was no longer frightened. I had completely recovered. I'll go to school tomorrow, right as rain. I'll greet everyone. I'll take part in club activities. It will definitely be fun. It had to be fun. I was one of them, after all. After that reminds me, I need to eat those mochi. I hope I'm able to tell which one Reina made. Why would you eat something they just gave you? Yeah, I was thinking that too. I remembered the homework the two brought with them when they visited me. But wow, our club did delivery. That was something else. I picked up the package I dropped on the floor and headed into the living room. It would be... I think I remember how this one ends. I think. It would be nice, I guess, to have some tea with it. To fill my mouth with mochi while drinking tea. Oh, this was quite a delectable situation I was in. Opening up the newspaper wrapping, there was 5 plump red bean paste mochi fit snuggling inside. Surely newspaper would get it all dirty with ink. Yeah, maybe. There were letters written from the left to right on the newspaper, A, B, C, D, and E. And now then, they said Raina made one of these. I wonder which one. There wasn't much difference in how they looked. They spelled and appeared about the same. This was a pretty difficult problem. The biggest difference was probably their shape. I wasn't sure what kind of person Mion's grandma was, but Raina's had to be different from hers. Looking carefully, I could see that one mochi was made very neatly. So well that just by staring at it, one could tell it stood out. Looks like this challenge depends on whether or not this one is Raina's. I calmed down and think even harder. Mion had said, Fuzz was soda. There's no point reading this. It's just filler, I think. I wouldn't be so sure if I knew Mion and had made it, but since she said Reina made it, it probably wasn't a trap. Alright, my tea is ready too. I'll start with the defending champ, Mion's grandma. Let's see. He died of poisoning. Exquisite. So do that. I mean, maybe? I don't know. This is very out of place. It's like all this creepy shit and now just some fluff. I don't know, the scene transition, I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's just like a scene transition. What? What was this? Oh shit. Before I could fully comprehend what it was, I threw away the rest of the mochi I was eating as fast as I could. It slammed against the wall, causing the bean jam to splatter. Then after sticking for a moment, it slid down the floor. I was dumbstruck by my own actions. What was I doing? Reina had gone out of her way to make it for me. How could I? Dumbstruck, I looked down my hand and performed such a vile act that I remembered what I had taken out of my mouth. At first I thought it was a hair. Even though it was shorter than Mion's, Reina's hair was still quite long. And it wasn't this short. And it was also a bit hard to be hair. It was thick enough to roll around on my tongue. There was a bit of metallic sheen on one of the ends, and yes, there was a hole for where thread goes through, like it was a sewing needle. Oh boy, the end was pointed as well, quite sharply. It really just did look like a sewing needle. Huh? What do I mean by it looked very much like a sewing needle just a bit ago? I couldn't answer, but a voice inside me already knew, let me know by chattering my molars together. I couldn't stave off the terror welling up inside of me. Suddenly I tasted something metallic and felt a prickling pain at the back of my throat. I stuck my finger in the back of my mouth and felt around to see if anything was bleeding. Suddenly I felt the urge to vomit. The sharp taste of bile irritated the back of my throat. I clasped both hands over my mouth and, writhing in agony, I was somehow to hold back the nausea. I was finally able to breathe normally again, but this time my heart was intensely throbbing. Then it finally registered exactly what mixed in with the mochi. Before I could think of the correct one, my hands were already on the move. I tossed the rest of the mochi against the wall. The geometrical patterns of the scattered bean jam on the wall suddenly invoked a terrible omen in my mind. What did it create? Like the satanic thing. Satanic symbol. After looking away, I dashed out to the hall and flew upstairs to my room, where I stayed under my covers until morning. I clutched my own shoulders, howling madly in a mix of fear, anger, sadness, and frustration. This wasn't a threat or warning or reminder. Nothing as simple as that. What happened in Hinamizawa? What is happening in Hinamizawa? What would happen? I didn't know the answer to any of these questions. Where did I break a taboo? I don't know how I break a taboo. Regardless, now Reina, Mion, and others, they consider me an enemy, and they thought I should just die. I won't let you kill me, not for such a pointless reason. I fell into a restless sleep and I was crushed by my negative emotion. It was as if I was being drawn into a billowing, bottomless marsh. Alright, I'm definitely ending it there. I've said I'm going to end it like 4 times now. Okay, we'll find out tomorrow why they're trying to kill him and how that resolves. What's a medicine that makes you commit suicide? Threat. Remind me to read those tomorrow. So they try to kill you sewing these? I guess so. Hard to swallow. Oh god. Okay, remind me to read those tips tomorrow. Dude, I've gone like an hour and a half longer than I was going to. There's not going to be a good place to end. It's going to be another like 5 hours at least.